Jesus Christ, you people suck. Wow. Wolverine on it.
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady. But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
Alright, it's time! Another week. N4G Radio. Episode 623 for October 19th, 2020. We are 3 weeks away from the next generation of consoles. And from your credit card going, ouch.
It's a bit scary, really. Just 3 weeks. It's been 7 years in the making.
Well, to be fair, I haven't been thinking about it except for like the last 12 months.
Well, yeah.
Those incremental consoles kind of helped.
Do we think they'll do them this year? Or this year? This time?
Of course they will. They sold. They'll make them. Apparently Microsoft's already working on the next series.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Anyway, on the show this week we got Full House. We have got John, as you've heard.
Hello.
Anthony is also here.
Yes, I am.
The Wombat is here.
Yes, sir.
And Drew is supposedly joining us, but we started the show before he came on because, he's late. I can't stand it when people are late to the show. Drives me
Man,
crazy.
I know. Isn't it terrible?
I know. Just fuckers.
People showing up late, leaving early.
Yeah, God damn it. You're all so unprofessional.
Everybody showing up one week, nobody showing up the next week. I swear to God.
Only Craig turned up last week.
Fucking Craig, man. God, that dude, he's rude,
He was definitely getting a bit feisty, wasn't he?
Yeah. I don't
I'd
like
say
it.
that we have good days and bad days, but let's be honest.
We never had a good
We
day.
haven't had a good day.
So every day's a bad day.
Some of them are worse than others. They're destroyed by acts of God, but there is that.
True story.
Anyway, let's talk video games. Anthony, we'll kick off with you. There's a lot of video games. It's fall season.
Yeah, I want to apologize for not having a show last week, everybody. But my grandmother was crushed by one of those giant Home Depot skeletons, which seems a little ironic.
Alrighty then.
Sorry.
And that's why this week we want to dedicate the show to talking about the dangers of osteoporosis.
There was a commercial on for some new drug on television the other day, and literally the commercial is like 2 minutes long. 90 seconds of it are the side effects of that drug.
Yeah. I will never forget, John, when you came over here, your reaction to the drug commercials and all of the list of side effects.
Unbelievable.
The bleeding from the eyes. If it happens, consult your doctor.
Are you having suicidal thoughts? Take this pill. It may give you suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man.
You
I like
Americans
my
are weird.
chances.
It's
Oh,
fascinating.
man.
Good time.
Yeah, so since we didn't have a show last week, I'll quickly cover the stuff that I actually forgot one last week, too. I went back to the game Ultra Core. That game, I still can't put a score on that. I mean, I don't recommend that game, I suppose, is the best I can say. But, like, a score-wise, like, there's a clear reason why that game never got released. Neat that it did, but it is unfair and sometimes just straight up doesn't work properly.
Dude, we live in a world where they brought back Cow the kangaroo, okay?
Yeah, but isn't it KO?
Does anybody even know? Does anybody even care?
I think it's KO because the joke is that he has boxing gloves, but they
All
spelled
I
it like a
know
name.
is that there are two platformers starring Australian mascots, and
That came back.
I get them
Yes.
confused all the time.
KO the kangaroo and
Ty the
Ty the
Tasmanian.
Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah, which I played this week, and maybe I should have just left that game.
But like the thing with Ultra Core is there's that one platforming sequence that I know Ken saw that
Yes.
I did get past. So I got past that, and I was like, holy shit, I got past it. It took all my lives because it's a terrible sequence. I managed to luck out. That was while I had vertigo. I did that, and because I wanted to just see if I could play something, and boy, that was not the game to play. But I was like, okay, this game is all right. I'm like, it's tougher now, but like, yeah, that's how it should go. I'm getting through the levels, and then there's this one platforming section where you have to jump on platforms, duck immediately, or you die. And there's no way to know, so it just takes a life. Then you do another jump. Again, same thing. Just they knock you off, and then you have to make a blind jump and get onto another. Yeah, it's horribly unfair. I am glad it exists. Don't play it.
Yeah.
We had talked about Genshin Impact, but I learned from Ryan that I really haven't played enough of that, and I haven't gone back to it, but I will.
Yeah.
I played Alien Shooter, which last week, again, on the show that doesn't exist. I explained that it's an old PC game. They did Alien Shooter, I think it's actually got a subtitle. It's not called Alien Shooter 2. And then there's 3 zombie shooters, and they're pretty good time. They're really basic. You aim with the mouse and move with your the WASD keys, and it's a top-down shooter. You get money you trade in for guns. I like those games. They're usually dirt cheap on Steam, and like when they're on sale, they're like $1 for the whole series. Finished Murder by Numbers. I need to write a review of that, even though it's not like a game that I had for review. I don't think enough people talk about that game. It was really well written and sets up for a sequel nicely. I started up the Dream Machine again, which is a point-and-click adventure where everything is stop animation, so it's all clay figures and stuff. It's a really neat game, but it took so long that I think I finished chapters 1 to 4, and then 5 didn't come out for like a year after. But because everything had to be handmade, it took longer to produce. And it cost a lot of money, so they sold the game beforehand. It's not the same scenario as Kentucky Route Zero, where it should have been out sooner. It was a literal, this is how long it takes to animate everything for the game, because there's not a lot of digital work done to it. I went back and played more Nickelodeon Kart Racers. That's a good racing game. It's not really great if you want a Nickelodeon game, but as far as a kart racing game goes, if you can get that for $30, I'd say it's a good deal. $40 seems a little steep. I think Sonic Team Racing is a better racing game overall. But for a kart racer, this is a really good one of those. Hades is amazing. I have played a ton of Hades. I still have not made it to the surface once. I've made it to the surface, but I have not finished the boss that's on the surface. But the writing in that game is amazing. It's the only Supergiant game I actually like. And goddamn, that is how you make a roguelite enjoyable. There's never feels like I've hit the point where it's kind of diminishing returns. There's always something to talk about with somebody. It always seems like the story's moving forward. There's a bunch of skills I still haven't gotten. There's a bunch of stuff to unlock. And I like how they keep adding enemies, so even the earlier levels see a change as you go through. I'm playing Disc Room for review. I can't talk about it, unfortunately. If the demo is still available, I do recommend it. Demo on Steam, I should say. I really wish I had copped the soundtrack that they just released, because it was shaped like a razor blade, or like a saw blade, and they think they made only like 300, something like that. Sega released the free game. They're releasing a bunch of free stuff on Steam. They released Endless Zone, which is the endless space mixed with Fantasy Zone. Some other like war game that I'm not familiar with. It
Armored.
doesn't.
It's to do with oh, it's called Armored something, and it's
Isn't it
Company
something-
Heroes.
Company Heroes, yeah.
Yeah, Armored Heroes. It might be called, I think.
Yeah, so I didn't play that. I didn't play Endless Zone, but I did play Streets of Camarocho. Camarocho? I think I pronounced that right.
Kamurocho.
Yeah. And that is a Streets of Rage Yakuza mashup. And it's pretty good. You have to repeat the same level 4 times, with it getting harder each time to unlock the secret character. And I could only do it 3 times before it got too much. But it's co-op, it's local co-op. It's really neat. You have to grab those games. I think tomorrow, when this podcast goes live, will be the last day to grab them. So grab them if you want them, because I don't think they're coming back. I've played...
What's going on with the Golden Axe game?
Yeah, so Golden Axe was a demo that was made, and they've now called it Golden Axed. And I don't know if they've canceled releasing that or not. I think it's supposed to come out still, but they had
It's
said...
still on Steam.
Yeah, so they had said that they had talked to the devs that made it. And while I'm all for preservation, and that's what this is to some extent, take a look at how Nintendo went and released Star Fox 2, where they went back to the actual developers and talked to them about releasing Star Fox 2, which I think is important. What Sega did was they said they talked to developers, and later on we found out that the 2 people that actually made this demo, that again was never seen, never went any further than what they are presenting apparently, they were not talked to about it at all. So it was an Australian studio that closed, that Sega owned, and yeah, it sounds like they talked to the boss that was a dickhead or something. I'm sure they talked to someone about it, but they didn't talk to the devs that were put under pressure and made this in 2 weeks, a week, or whatever. It was done in no time. And the devs spoke about it on Twitter and the nightmare of developing it and why it sucks. And one of them was kind of angry that they would sort of call it Golden Axed. It just seemed kind of rude. So I don't know.
It definitely didn't read the room right.
Well, especially if you say you've talked to the devs, the fact that the devs were so quick to see it and go, "What the absolute fuck?" This is that shit would have flown in the 90s, early 2000s. But now social media is a thing. Did you not think they would see it if they're still follow video games at all? It was the team. One of the guys ended up making Super Android Cactus. So, good on him. Oh, that's a good game. But yeah, it's kind of a mess. You've never heard of it?
No, I said no. It is a hell of a good game.
Oh yeah. So it's disappointing, but I'm still gonna give it a shot because Golden Axe isn't something that we've seen since
360.
Beastmaster. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that existed.
Yeah, good for you. That game sucks. The game's bad. It's a bad Golden Axe game, and it's a bad video game. I've played Mafia: The Definitive Edition.
That shit's rad.
Yeah, that shit's really good. I kind of hate the 2 guys that you have to bring around. I'm only early on still, but when you go to the hotel, they're really fucking annoying. I really like the car mechanic though. Whoever's doing the car mechanics performance is great. And the Dawn. I like that game a lot. It reminds me of The Getaway. The way that it's formatted. I'm enjoying it a lot. And yeah, I bought the whole trilogy on Xbox.
I think Mafia Remastered really speaks to the fact that we can make an open world game with a linear story and it works.
Yeah, the open world is there, but you don't need to be going through it's just not and now you're out in it. It's no, here's a level, here's a level, here's a level, here's a level. Yeah. But this whole thing is connected. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the last game that I've played that I saved till last because I know that you've played it, Ken, is Foregone.
Yeah,
Yeah, you sent me a code for that, and
that game is good.
yeah, like I have to say ahead of time that I know someone that works at Big Blue Bubble, but I don't actually know if he's worked on this game or not. It's really good. It's a really good game, and the graphics in it being like this mix. It's like a 32-bit game, which you don't see a lot of. Not like this, anyways. Like the way that the characters clearly.
I feel like it's getting that out of this world vibe of like very detailed animation in a pixelized format.
Well, it's because the model, they're like 3D models.
Yeah,
Clearly,
I
but
love
they're-
the way that like the character moves and the way she breathes and stuff, and it's just like it looks so good.
I love I love the setup because it feels like you're gonna be doing like a Metroid type game, but so far I haven't had like it's not like that. It's like
It's
still
like
a level.
Souls light.
Yeah, and it's not super punishing, but there's a ton of loot, and you can upgrade the loot.
Have you got to the point where the ferryman is there?
Where you die and then you can get the
that's
stuff.
the mechanic. Is when you die, you can. I think you're allowed to go back and get your stuff, or you can just tell the ferryman to take half of your stuff, and then you don't have to go get it.
Yeah,
so it's like a trade-off.
Everything about this game feels good.
Yeah, like
And
the
there's
combat feels good. Like the enemies are really interesting. The levels are.
When you shoot a gun, the gun's ammunition reloads by doing melee attacks.
Yep.
That's so smart to make it so you can't just spam shots. The dash, like you dash behind them, or you slide, I should say, and then you have the dash that like just rams into enemies, and yeah, it's really good. I haven't made it like super far yet, but I was really liking. I really like the fact that I got another weapon, another sword, and it worked completely differently than the sword I was using.
Yeah, it's like you get like a heavier sword or a lighter sword. You can also get like a hammer and stuff later on.
Nunchaku.
Yeah. You can, and the guns are different too. You can get bow and arrows. You can get regular guns.
I have a rifle, a pistol, a shotgun, and a bow and arrow. So far,
there's a shit ton of loot in this game, and the thing is, you can upgrade it. If you find a gun you like, you can actually upgrade it twice.
I think it depends on the gun. You might be even able to get a third time.
It's possible. I've maxed out at 2 on everything that I found that I like so far.
I'd have to count next time I actually have to level up something. That's how many times. I thought it was like 3 with one of them, but it might have just been 2. So, but yeah, that's a really good game.
Real nice loop to it.
And what I was shocked at when I saw that Big Blue Bubble made it is they've only really done mobile games. You might remember them from Burn the Rope. Like, that's the type of stuff they were doing, and there's nothing wrong with that. My Singing Monsters, which is a very popular game, that was them too. They were a different business, and then this is just a full game, and it's this good. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I wasn't expecting this from that studio. Not saying that studio doesn't do good work. It's just that their market strategy was completely different. And holy shit, this game is fantastic.
Yeah, it was a big shock. Like, I heard a couple people mention it, and then I think it was Major Nelson tweeted like that it was available, and I quote tweeted, I was like, wow, this looks really rad. I can't wait to play this. And the developer reached out to me on Twitter and shot me a code in my DM. And he's like, check it out. And I was like, okay. So I booted it up, and I'm like, holy shit, this game is really good.
Yeah, I have to go back to the animation, because it's just so everything is 2D in the world, basically.
It looks a lot like Dead Cells, if you want to, like, a base.
Yes!
Oh
my god!
Yeah.
Fuck. I was trying to think of what it looked like, and as someone that hasn't played Dead Cells but has watched video of it, yes, it looks like Dead Cells. God, but it's like, it's so well done. Like, I'm shocked. It's I really want to play more of it. I just also wanted to play Mafia today, so I was like I jumped between one. I jump from one to the other. So
Yeah.
and that's it for me.
Awesome. John, you want to talk about what you've been playing?
Yeah, I'll be quick to be fair. I haven't really played a lot. I've been busy at work, but I have finally picked up Marvel's Avengers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Whoo!
So
Yeah.
immediately somebody listening to the show got pissed because I've had emails about it, about how much I don't care for that game.
Yeah, that's it's a wasted opportunity is what I would call that game. I feel like if Square Enix really wanted to make a games as a service type of game, they could have picked something different to this because it is definitely a license wasted. I'm not going to say it's all bad. Some of the combat feels okay on some of the characters. I like playing as Ms. Marvel. I think her moveset and her powers, and as a character in the story, is probably the best out of all of them. And I think I probably like Captain America, but like you would think playing as the Hulk would be a hell of a fun time, and it
Oh,
just
he's the
isn't.
least. Him and Iron Man are the two least fun
Yeah, it's
characters in
like
that game to play.
and Thor just feels like limp. He doesn't feel powerful, which
The
you would
best
expect
character to
from.
me is Black Widow. Like, she's the character that's the most fun to play.
Well, I definitely one of the better ones for sure for me anyway. But I mean, I didn't mind the story. It was
Story's
quite
good.
cool. Um, I I felt that they kind of got some of the characters right, and I also think they missed the mark with some others. Um, it maybe we're just spoiled with just good Marvel stuff of late. You know, we've had 10 years of
No, John,
fantastic.
even without the Marvel license, this game has a shitload of problems.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not a broken mess either, because it is a broken mess. I had a couple of times where I had to restart the game because it something it wouldn't trigger what it was meant to. Like you defeat all the enemies in an area, and it's meant to trigger the next section, and it wouldn't. So I'd have to literally close the game down, come back in and do that whole section again, and then trigger it. But it is a broken mess. But I just don't. I mean, the whole uniform, the whole like it's a loot thing. The loot's boring. It doesn't. There's no visual impact to it because that's where the costumes come into play. But the costumes, they're the things that they want you to pay for. So you don't even get any real satisfying unlockable costumes. Not that I found. I've played it for about 7 or 8 hours, and it's like you get like the main costumes that they have throughout the game, and there are a couple of like you get like a Iron Man, this makeshift Iron Man suit when when he's first introduced to the story as a playable character. That's for like one mission, and then he's in his normal suit. And you can swap those costumes about, but there's nothing fancy there. They want you to buy that shit, and that's the frustrating thing because for me, like one of the cool things about Spider-Man, cool game, but how many costumes it had, harkening back to not just the movies, but the comic books and the animations and some new stuff that they'd done. And it was all free, not a single charge on one of them. And there were so many. And to do this games as a service, that the missions that you repeat are just dull. And it is literally mash buttons for a period of time, infiltrate this area, hold down this area for 2 minutes or whatever, and then that's it. It's a poor live service model with uninteresting content, and I don't care if they're giving the characters away for free. It won't make that game any better. This needs an Anthem styled overhaul, but I don't think it will get it. I think it will die a very slow and painful death. I am disappointed.
An Anthem style overhaul. That's where you just fucking shoot from the
Well, at
shoot
least
from the line and get it right in the trash.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. The whole Anthem thing, that's its own kettle of fish, but at least at the moment, they're trying to start from scratch. Whether that actually ends up being anything, who fucking knows? The game, the game's going to miss a generation. Shortly it'll be on an old console, you know what I mean? But
Anthem will return next year as Anthem 2.0 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X.
yeah, probably you have to pay for it again. But it's
Nobody's paying for that shit again.
yeah. At least they are, they slowly found out that they were real big problems and that it wasn't going to work and they had to start again. This is what this needs. This needs a rethink from the ground up. But I don't know how you make this kind of game, a live service game, enjoyable. And you can't. I mean, I understand you want to sell costumes. That's what I mean. Fortnite has made billions out of doing that, but this is Marvel Avengers. Costumes is their thing, to hide all of the cool stuff behind a paywall and not really even reward you for doing certain missions or completing various bits. It just stinks. Absolutely stinks. They completely miss their audience.
Well, they also the thing that bothers me that all these games do is that Fortnite is free.
Yes, and Fortnite, absolutely, and that's the thing, is you can forgive it. You can forgive Fortnite because it is free. The price of entry is fuck all, and there are ways in which you can earn some of that stuff without paying. But
you can grind for the currency in Marvel's Avengers, but I'll tell you right now,
no one wants to, because that's the other thing. Fortnite's fun to play.
Game.
Yeah, Fortnite is fucking hella fun to play. Marvel Avengers is not. Now, don't get me wrong. I really wanted this game to be good, and I was disappointed with the reviews, but I thought I'll give it the benefit. I'll wait for one of the big patches. I'll give it a try, and it's not fun. And that's how do you fuck that up? How do you not make a game about superheroes, especially Marvel, colourful characters and various different abilities, a whole ensemble of a cast? How do you not make that fun? You fucked it up.
There's a long list of video games that proves that that's easier
I know,
than you think.
I know. I'm just
Iron Man and Exo Man of War.
Hey, let's not.
I am.
Like literally, let's just not.
I am. Yeah, disappointed. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. I should, and the thing is, once they start using the words live service, you kind of think this doesn't work for many games. In fact, it really only ever worked for 2. And it's like, yes, there is definitely room in this world for games like Destiny and The Division, but Division had to learn lessons from the first game to get to Division 2, and the core gameplay is fun. The mechanics of it, the rinse and repeat kind of, because that's what these live services are. You can't have an infinite amount of content. It's impossible to do that. You have to find ways to recycle the content that you've got in an interesting way. And for the most part, Destiny and Division do that relatively well. This just isn't. And I don't know. I just think that in an alternative universe, somewhere in the multiverse, there is a version of this game that where Square decided not to choose this as their live service game and try to piggyback on that. And to me, I think that would have been a far better game.
Makes me sad that it's Crystal D, who is known for their massive single-player narrative game.
Yeah, those last 3, I mean, I know they didn't do the third one, but they certainly rebooted those Tomb Raider games incredibly well. Hitman's, were they originally dealt with them? They originally had dealings with Hitman, weren't they? Or was that always
Square?
IO?
That was always
Square.
IO Interactive.
Well, Square published Hitman.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of the developer. I'm trying to think of the other stuff that
Crystal D
had
started on the
done.
3DO with like stuff like the Horde and
They originally done
Jax.
the Kane series as well, didn't they?
no. Silicon
Legacy
Knights
Kane?
started that.
Silicon
and then-
Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ken. Sorry.
Silicon Knights started the Legacy of Kain series, and then Crystal Dynamics took it over with Soul Reaver.
didn't they? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a
Right.
fun one. Yeah.
Gex. Pandemonium.
Gex was Crystal. Crystal D also took over. Basically, Crystal D takes over things. They took over Tomb Raider.
Whiplash. Project Snowblind, which was going to be Deus Ex. They took over Tomb Raider when Legend came out.
Yep.
Let's see, and then that's all they did actually was Tomb Raider Legend, and then Tomb Raider Anniversary, Underworld, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, Tomb Raider reboot, Temple of Osiris, Relic Run, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then this.
Well,
Crystal Dynamics has made some great games. Truthfully,
Whiplash is an underrated classic.
Yeah.
Well,
There.
it's a shame that has come to this. Maybe over time that'll improve. Hopefully, the actual game itself, the fact that it is a bit of a mess, quality wise, will improve over time. But you think? I mean, they've already said. I'm sure you'll probably get to this in the news that this was meant to be PS5 and Series X upgradable. That's been pushed back to next year while they focus on fixing the game. I mean, this is just typical of games nowadays where they have to reach a date, they have to hit a deadline, so they rush this stuff out and fix it in post. Well, your problem is that you get one shot to make an impression, and if that impression is that poor, no amount of fixing is going to get you any more sales. That's a big problem.
Not to spoil too much, is that that game was the best-selling game of September.
So,
It's not really a surprise based on the license.
Yeah,
the
license
pack.
carried that entirely for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I think John, you kind of you hit the nail on the head, because the whole point of these games as a service games, and I'll use Destiny as the model, even though I know people get mad when you compare everything to Destiny. But what Destiny did right is you've got to have that loop. And one of the big things that feeds that loop or the two big things that feed that loop are A, your character getting stronger, and B, the loot that you collect that makes your character stronger, but also is, cosmetic generally in nature. And it's the Diablo loop too. They're all kind of connected. And when you have a game about superheroes that have superpowers, and then you don't give them any loot to wear, it's tough to make that loop work, I think, which is why it was so honestly surprising that Anthem didn't work out when you've got, flying mechs that ought to be the perfect way to sort of hit both of those, and then the game wasn't that great.
Well, their loot loop was terrible too. Like, you were getting guns at the high levels that weren't even as good as the fucking starter gun.
Right.
Yeah,
they made some weird decisions in that game with the way that the guns were sorted. That's Destiny really nailed all of those things.
And again, it's not Destiny isn't perfect by any means,
Sure.
But you've got a developer, and this is, you look at as you say, the lineage of Crystal Dynamics. It should have been something similar here. You have in Destiny, you've got a developer who has honed their shooting skills, with things like Halo, and that's the other thing. It's that I don't think this generation has been a better first-person shooter for mechanics. Destiny just made it fun. The whole, it made popping headshots off, made it feel easy. It made it feel satisfying, and that then feeds into the fact that you're popping these enemies and you're then getting the loot and you're leveling up slowly but surely. You're looking, and there were always ways to find. To help you find what you needed to do next, what you needed to improve to get to the highest stat you could. And then, of course, every so often they'd bump it up. So it was a whole refresh. Yes, it does kind of negate, I've just spent, 40 hours trying to grind myself out this gun, and now there's an update, it's worthless. But that doesn't matter because you've then got another goal to chase. But because the gameplay is incredibly fun and solid, you enjoy it, you don't mind it. And things like the Vault of Glass, the what do they call them? The
Raids.
the raids. How awesome were they? Not only were they a lot of fun to do with your friends, but they were inventive and clever and took time. And that's how you get a group of 3 or 4 people together playing, having fun. And well, as we all know now, no one's fucking playing Avengers.
No,
Good luck
nobody
getting
I know is playing that game.
But it's a massive, massive shame. And again, I think that game gets filled. All of these future plans, on the roadmap, all of these fantastic characters that are going to be released for free, I think you see 2 or 3 of them. One of them will be exclusive one of them will be exclusive to the PlayStation. And I think that then dies a death. I think they quietly, when no one's playing it at all, they'll just brush it under the rug.
All right. What else, John?
That's
Anything
it.
else?
That is pretty much, that's, basically it.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, so I literally have not played anything other than Greedfall, which I am trying to finish so that I can go back into Ghosts of Tsushima and check out the new update. But I know as soon as I start playing that, I'll probably end up spending a lot of time in it. So I'm trying to finish up Greedfall first so that I can cross that one off the list. Plus, it's really, really good. I know I mentioned this last time, but it's definitely a game that anybody who likes Western RPGs should play 100%. It's got. I think the comments I made on this game got nuked, actually. So I'll make comments again.
Your headset is weird.
Is it? What's it doing?
It's like got like this reverberation to it. It's like when you talk.
Oh, you're kidding.
Am I the only one hearing that, or am I crazy?
You're not crazy. I can hear it too. It's like you're warbling.
I didn't want to be like, Brian, your new headset's not
Your brand new headset that you got from Amazon.
It's probably getting interference since you said it was wireless, right?
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
I'm going to throw it across the room. Hold on a second. Let's try this real quick.
Oh, that's funny.
All right.
We're
Is it any
professionals.
better?
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
All right. It was getting interference. I had to turn off my PlayStation controller. So Greedfall is it's Western RPG. You play a diplomat who is helping to colonize a new island, an island that is being colonized by 3 nations who have, relatively diplomatic relations with each other, although 2 of them are at war. There are natives to the island that each of the 3 is having conflict with in different ways. And so the game is equal parts, combat and also having to solve issues diplomatically and try to bring multiple sides together. There's obviously some mystery and intrigue that goes into the way different things unfold in the history of the island. And it's a really, really cool Western RPG. I like it a lot. I think 20 hours in. So we'll see. I think the main story is probably 25 happening.
Yeah. I need to go back to that game.
Yeah.
It was
definitely
definitely
worth
you get that game. for
I think it's on everything.
It's on everything. It's on PC. It's on Xbox, and it's on PC.
Just not.
Solo like Fallout or
No,
No.
in the it's more so it's more in the style of a
Two
Eurojank.
Worlds.
you know, The Witcher, or it's not. No, it's not really
know,
like
I
Two
know.
Worlds at
I
all.
know.
It really, it probably has more in common with The Witcher than just about anything else I can think of in terms of the way the combat works.
And a bit of oh god, they're the Canadians BioWare-ish feel to it
Yeah,
as well.
it's
That
got a
sounds
little bit
kinda
of that
cool.
for sure, because you've got companions that also have loyalty missions that you can do to increase your standing with them, and depending on your standing with them, it can have some pretty large impacts on the story.
I'll have to look out for that. That sounds kind of cool.
It goes on
Yeah,
sale like
really
every
good.
third week.
Yeah, you can get it
Especially
super
on
cheap.
PC. I mean, Good Old Games, I think, has it on sale every other week, like Anthony said. So if you're
Wow.
planning on getting it on PC, you'll be able to get it pretty cheap, I imagine.
Cool.
All right, what else? Anything else?
No, that's it. Like I said, I'm just trying to get that cleared out so that I can play
gone
the
funny again.
Ghost update.
Your mic went funny again, Ryan.
Everything. The problem with Bluetooth or anything like that is you're always going to get interference from something.
Yeah, well.
Stupid wireless
Turn your
headphones.
PlayStation off, Ryan.
You know how many
It's-
times like I'm using my I've got those new Turtle Beach 700s and they have Bluetooth built in, and like I'll be playing Overwatch and all of a sudden my headset will go Bluetooth disconnected, Bluetooth connected.
My
It's annoying.
my headset at work eventually, like all of a sudden I'll be listening to a podcast and then it's quiet. And I look and it's like, well, it's not the thing that stopped playing, and then my headphones go, battery at 70%. It's
Thanks.
like it just turned back on. I'm like, I didn't even hear you turn off. Yeah, it just disconnects and reconnects. Weird.
Yep.
The
Hey, well,
future.
Do we know what the plans are for, like, because it still pisses me off that you can't just use a standard Bluetooth headset for, like, my Xbox or my PlayStation. You have to buy one that's got a dongle or something with it. Is that going to be different for next gen?
So there are two headsets for Xbox that don't require a dongle. The Arctis headsets do not require a dongle, and the Turtle Beach 700s do not require a dongle.
I want to play my own set of Bluetooth headsets that I paid money for and use on my phone.
Well, John, tough shit.
God damn it.
They got to use their own proprietary, and it's probably because exactly what Ryan's dealing with right now. You don't want your
Yeah,
headset disconnecting and making warbling noises while you're trying to strategize in Fortnite.
Leave my warbling headset alone.
Wobble, wobble, wobble.
Wobble, wobble, wobble. Like the fucking Hamburglar over here. All right, I'll go through my stuff. I've got a lot. ID at Xbox was massive this week, but I'll hit the big stuff first. I'm reviewing NHL 21, and the only reason I took it this year is because I wanted to check out that NHL 94 remake. It's not available yet. It's making me sad. But just playing that game, it's super well polished. It's a really fun game to play. I know how people feel now when they don't know anything about a sport and they play a sport game. Like, I don't know shit about hockey. And NHL 21's menu has like 4x4 boxes. I don't know what half of the shit on that screen is. Like, there's like 600 modes, and I don't know what like 20 of them are.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many modes in this game, and like I'll pick one, and then it'll give me like some options to do something. I'm like, I just want to shoot the puck in the net. Can I do that? And when I do that, it's fun. I really, really, really want to play the NHL 94 thing because it is literally the original Genesis game, but with updated rosters. Not that I know who the fuck played in 94 and who the fuck's playing in 2020. I don't know. I don't watch hockey, but I just want to play some Genesis hockey. I still think that the Genesis hockey games were the best, followed by NHL 98 for the PC. NHL 98 for the PC is, in my opinion, the best hockey game ever made. Don't at me, bro. G.I. Joe. Let's talk about G.I. Joe Operation Blackout. So, I was excited when this game got announced because literally we haven't had a G.I. Joe game since...
The movies.
Yeah, that one on
the
Rise of
first
Cobra
movie.
one, wasn't there?
the Rise of Cobra, which, funny story about that game. Only game that I have found that does it. So do you remember when the original Xbox 360, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, went to the like new models? Like you remember the glossy black model Xbox 360?
The Xbox 360S,
Yes.
the fighter
God,
jet.
don't confuse us.
That's what it's
anymore.
called. That's what it's called, and it looks like a fighter jet.
So
Yeah.
that disc does not work in that console.
But
G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra was the only disc, 360 disc, that did not work in that particular. I even reached out to the publisher and was like, hey, do you know this disc doesn't work? They're like, yeah. I don't. It's weird.
all right.
Whoopsie.
So we haven't had a G.I. Joe game since that. So I was excited. I was like, third-person shooter, probably plays like Fortnite or something. You pick a character, you go through the level. The shooting in this game is so fucking bad. It's so bad. There's a lock-on mechanic. The problem is that the enemies tend to strafe left and right, which makes sense, right? But the lock-on locks onto them for a second. You pull the trigger to shoot them, and by the time the bullet makes it to them, they've already moved, and your lock-on is gone. So if you try to play without the lock-on, the aiming is has this really slow ramp-up time that makes hitting enemies a pain in the ass. Now, I could look past these problems of wasting ammo shooting at enemies, but the second problem that exacerbates this with G.I. Joe is that they limit your ammo, and it is really fucking limited. Like, you will run out of bullets really quick. And literally, your character will not shut the fuck up when they're out of ammo. So when you run out of ammo, your character's going to say, like, I'm out of ammo, I'm out of ammo, I'm out of ammo, I'm out of ammo. They don't stop. They just keep saying that over and over again.
That's to let the other people in the online lobby. Oh, that's right. This game isn't online.
No, it's not. It's local. You can play 2-player co-op split screen, which me and my son played through 2 levels, and he's 10. He absolutely loves it.
Oh, I was gonna say, did he turn to you and go, Dad, please stop making me play this game? And you're like, no, I need to do this for a review.
He absolutely loves it. We did play the versus mode, and he found out that Roadblock is completely OP. He has a gun that you don't have to aim, and he has 200 armor, so I could never kill him. Like, he just kept picking Roadblock, and he'd win every game because I couldn't kill him. I literally could land headshot after headshot after headshot, and he'd just stand there and laugh at me.
Modern day odd job.
Yeah, like I couldn't kill him. He's like, "Why are you getting mad?" I was like, "This game is broken." It makes me sad. I even said at the end of my review, I'm like, I'm going to go back and try to love this game because I really want to love this game, and I don't. I really don't like this game. It makes me sad. Like, if they would just fix the ammo problem and the lock-on, I would have had fun with this game because it's so nostalgic. Like, they got sound-alikes for the voice actors. The art style is cool. The story is neat. Like, all the characters you want to be are there. But, man, it is not fun to play. It makes me really sad.
I honestly, so the reason why I was like dumbfounded when you told me before the show was because I thought this was going to be a team-based shooter where one team plays as the Joes and the other team plays as Cobra, and I was like, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too, but it is literally, they call it team deathmatch. It's not team deathmatch, it's like team fight or something like that. And it's literally 1v1 Cobra versus Joe. Or I think it can be 2v. You're right.
Just
it can
hearing
be
about this
2v2.
game, sucks. Move on.
Yeah,
let's move on.
The other game I'm playing for review is Torchlight 3. I mean, everything you need to know about that game is in the name.
Is that coming out to console?
Yeah, it's out on Xbox, PS4, Switch.
Oh, lovely! I might give that a try. I did enjoy the first couple of those.
I mean, it's exactly what you think it's going to be.
Cool.
Like it's so hard to talk about that game because it's literally just another one. It's an interesting story because if you remember, that game was originally going to be that MMO style. It was called Frontiers when it was first.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they eventually just said, "Fuck it, we're just going to make another looter," and they did, and it's good. I love the way it looks. The loot's really good. I mean, fucking Torchlight, it's good stuff. I'm also playing Supraland, but I can't talk about that game yet. I think that's
Superland?
Supraland.
It's a first-person Metroidvania. It's been on the PC for a while.
Yeah, I can't talk about the console version though.
Okay.
So yeah, apparently you're like a little toy in a kid's sandbox, open world Metroidvania kind of game.
Is it about a Toyota Supra?
No, sadly not. All right, ID at Xbox. Let's run down this. The Ratalaika game. They got one every week. This week's is called 2 Parsecs from Earth. It is a Metroidvania style game that is very self-aware. Like immediately at the beginning of the game, my character said, "I don't feel like jumping, so the jump button doesn't work. Here's my ship. Give me my 1,000 gamer score." Like these are the kind of comments the character makes to you while you're playing it. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. It sounds.
It's not. It's not
Oh
a great.
yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
terrible.
I've seen this. I'm pretty much the guy that'll go, I'll buy it. It's a Metroidvania, and it's like this game doesn't have better, but literally the levels are just like, what if
This
we
game
just
is-
took black bricks and shaped out a level? Like, cool.
Yeah, the game itself is a one-hit death game. So
Oh,
if you
I'm
get
out.
hit, you're dead. So there's that. The next game I played, I actually really enjoyed. It's called Raji, an Ancient Epic. This is like
Isn't that made by an Indian studio? I remember
Yes.
that being on either a State of Play or a Nintendo.
I think it was a
Indies event.
Switch. Yeah, I think it was a Switch.
Yeah.
One of those.
Looked interesting.
This game reminds me a lot of those games that Anthony mentioned earlier, the Lara Croft Temple of Osiris, kind of like isometric perspective. But this is melee focused with some platforming. It's really good. I suggest you check it out if you're into those kind of games because it's.
I like the art style of it.
Yeah, it's got wonderful art style. The voice acting is stellar. The controls feel really good. The combat's a little slow. It'll take you a little while because you can't just mash buttons. It's very kind of timing and rhythm based.
Oh, see, that's the reason why I love Hades so much.
Yeah.
Just fucking mash away at that.
Yeah, this is not a masher. You need to think about your moves and stuff, and I really like it. I think it's really well done. So, Dust Off Z is a game where you take a helicopter and you pick up people and you shoot zombies. My son absolutely thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I think it's okay. Red Wings, Aces of the Sky is a like World War II style plane shooter game. Feels really good. There's a skill tree that you can level up your character. You can do an ultimate move where your dude just pulls a fucking pistol out and shoots the other pilot right in the face.
That's
that's-
kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It feels really good. I love the cartoony art style of it. This game is really good too. Like I had a lot of fun playing this game. The controls feel really good. It's very arcade driven. The story is entertaining. It was a good week for ID at Xbox. I'm not gonna lie. I played a lot of good stuff. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger finally came out on Xbox. That game probably should have stayed in 2003 or whatever the fuck it came out.
Hey, do you like collectathons?
Yeah, there's like 60 collectibles in that game.
It's one of those.
Yeah, and
It's
the camera's
not
too
the,
damn.
It's not the worst one of those. It's neat that they brought it back. That's it.
It's the camera's too damn close to Ty.
Play Sphinx.
No,
Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy?
it's okay.
It's better than Ty.
It's free on Xbox this month. Or
I
wait,
think it
it
might be
was
done,
last week. Like it's over now.
Yeah.
Nexoria Dungeon Rogue Heroes. Everything in that name tells you that I only played for 5 minutes and uninstalled it.
Mhm.
Here's a good one. Anthony, you might dig this game. I don't know if you've played it or heard of it. It's called Return One Way Trip.
I'm looking it up.
This is a 2D a survival horror game.
Ooh.
And I don't know why, but I absolutely love it. Like I can't
Weird.
I can't tell you what makes it different than all the other 2D survival horror games, but I was instantly interested in the characters. It did some really good spooky shit early on. I want to play more of it.
It is on Steam too, and I'm looking at it. So it's like a redheaded girl, right?
Yes. So like the cutscenes are like in this almost anime-inspired kind of style, but when you're playing the game, it's full-on
Pixel
flat.
art.
Yeah, full-on pixel art, flat 2D perspective.
Ooh.
You go around, you investigate things, you pick up items, you use them to unlock
That's
different
my
stuff.
type of jam.
Yeah. And
Oh, interesting publisher too. It's Green Man Gaming.
Yep.
Huh.
It's a cool game,
I'm looking
especially
at
Halloween right now.
I'm looking at the screenshots on Steam, and to describe it, there is clear like the character is in a train car, and
Yep.
then I click one of the other screenshots, and it's clearly the same train car, but it's seen better days.
There is some creepy shit in this game, and it really does the things it does well.
Have you ever played Lone Survivor?
No, I've heard of it, but I've never actually played it.
Do you like Silent Hill?
Yes.
You need to play Lone Survivor. It is 2D Silent Hill. It is literally like the guy had previously done Quiet Mountain or something like that, which was just a 2D Silent Hill tribute, and then made his own game. And oh my, it is uncomfortable how creepy that game is.
This one
Also,
so far,
timely.
I've loved it.
Also very timely because the character in that game wears a medical mask over his face the whole time.
Oh, well, there you go.
But yeah, I'll be definitely picking this up. This looks perfectly creepy.
Yeah, I dig what it's doing so far. I hope it continues.
Oh, and okay, so I'm still on Steam. Just to describe the moment, the main character is running from a creature, a gigantic creature, and it reminds me of a game that never really paid off with what it was doing called, oh god, your security guard in like Alaska or something. Uncanny Valley. Uncanny Valley. Woof. That game starts off really strong and just can't stick the ending. And this looks like, oh no, this is going to actually be the game this time instead of just a dream sequence. So yes, I am very excited to give this a shot. I'm definitely checking this out, Ken.
Yep,
Thank you.
It's a good game. Brunswick Pro Billiards. I mean, again, the name says it all. Shoots a pool. It's actually not bad. Cake Bash. The thing that stands out about, so this is one of those 4-player beat the shit out of each other kind of, party games. What stands out about this game is, I don't know, have you ever seen like the picture? The one I'm trying to think of is the dog with no, like it's missing 2 of its legs and somebody's drawn stick legs on it. You know those memes? Or the people draw faces and like things as they're getting crushed.
Oh yeah, like the
arms
ducks.
on ducks and stuff.
Exactly.
So Ryan, I have to ask: were you picturing the 2 ducks that end up climbing on the dog, and then the one toots out, like has a horn and toots out the Final Fantasy
100%.
theme? All right,
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Okay,
exactly
so-
where my mind went to.
So that's kind of the standout part of this is like you're playing as desserts, like you're a cupcake or a slice of cake, and they have those little black arms and faces drawn on the cupcakes.
Are they
That's-
photos of cupcakes?
No. It's rendered 3D.
Okay.
Like, yeah. So
I was gonna
that's
say it would be pretty great if they were just like cut out pieces of paper.
but that's kind of this game's hook, and it was entertaining for like 2 matches, and then I'm like, okay, I've played this before. Brotherhood United is the East Asia soft game for the week. It is a 2D side scroller where you have a gun and grenades and you just shoot people in the fucking head, and it's actually pretty good. Also, if you're doing the Hall of Fame Xbox thing to get reward points, it's probably about 20 minutes to get 1,000 achievement points if you want to get some points. So there you go. Tears of Avia is the strategy turn-based game of the week. I lasted about 20 minutes with that one. I don't like strategy turn-based games, sorry. I'd never played Monster Prom, but I played Monster Prom on Xbox because it came out this week. I did not know that game was that raunchy.
If there's
Like-
dating involved, just assume.
I mean, they talked about, like, the first dialogue option was something about a blowjob, and I was like, whoa, okay, we're gonna, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Family time has been canceled.
Yeah,
Go
like,
upstairs.
and then the second line of dialogue was like, I can't wait to show you this guy's cock, and I'm like, well, okay, we're done. We're done.
Come on, Ken. The ESRB rating says sexual themes, drug reference, and strong language. You should know better.
It's something. Katana Zero's out on Xbox Game Pass this week. I played that again. That game is still
That
good.
game is so fucking good. The music is fantastic. Play Katana Zero. God damn it, play it.
Yeah, it's a good game. Cook Serve Delicious 3. It's just like Cook Serve Delicious 1 and 2.
I don't know what those are. Don't care.
You basically create food and serve it to people. It's a management game.
Oh, then definitely I'm out.
Yeah. Shadow Gangs. Is this the last? Yeah. So Shadow Gangs is the last game that I played, and this feels like if somebody HD remastered Shinobi, the first arcade Shinobi.
Are they like Shinobi? I don't know if I like Shinobi that much.
Yeah, I played this. Like, I played through the first couple levels. I'm like, it's fine. It's neat to see it in like really high resolution art, but it's also like super frustratingly hard, which Shinobi was. So
Yep. You know, Shinobi I only like because it's Shinobi.
yeah.
You know, like, I'm not going to tell you to go play Shadow Dancer or Shinobi. Shinobi 3 is pretty good still, but like, Revenge of Shinobi, I don't know. You can skip all that.
So yeah, lots of games this week, and some of them really stood out to me. Like, I really enjoyed that Return game, the Red Wings game was really good. These are all games that I love that they send these codes, because then I get to talk about these games that otherwise you would forget about the day after it came out. Also, Foregone was in there, which is why you got a code for it.
I knew why I got a code for it. That's the same reason why I got a code for Shantae, which I didn't realize hadn't been on Xbox. But yeah, Risky's Revenge is on Xbox, everybody. It's a really good game. I don't know what else to tell you. It's literally the same game that was on the DSi. They haven't done any sort of up-resing for it.
Yeah, that's why when you asked me if we were reviewing Shantae, I was like,
there's no reason to. It is. I still believe one of the. I think it's
good.
The highest. It's the highest rated DSiWare game for a reason, and it was doing the Metroidvania stuff while everybody else was doing other things, and it does it very well. And it's the reason why you got another Shantae game, and then another Shantae game, and then another Shantae game.
Good. Like, they're always good. If it's Shantae and you like Metroidvania or side-scrolling action games, you're probably going to like it.
And this is the most Metroidvania one of them all.
Yeah, it's Shantae. If it says Shantae on it, it's probably quality.
It's a probably good game.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about what's out this week. We're getting into the thick of it. We're literally 3 weeks out from next gen. It's crazy. 1971, Project Helios. Amnesia Rebirth, just in time for Halloween. Control Ultimate Edition. I'm assuming that's a physical copy along with Crosscode, also assuming that's a physical copy. The first DLC for Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods Part 1, out this week.
And the soundtrack is by the guy who I said was probably going to get asked. It's so fucking good.
Hey, this is standalone too. You don't have to own Doom Eternal to play this.
I didn't think I was going to buy the DLC, but
also
it's fucking good. So
not to jump ahead a little into the news, but enjoy it, PlayStation gamers. This will be the last time you play Doom.
Wow.
Oh, that was cold.
You're an asshole today.
Oh,
shit.
Hyper Brawl Tournament, Monster Truck Championship, Outpost Delta, A Tale of Paper. Okay. Macrotus, A Mother's Journey. Somehow Bless Unleashed is on the release list every week, and I just don't know why. Raise the Dead, Superland, Galicide, Goosebumps Dead of Night, Grood, Monstrum, Mortal Shell, Pumpkin Jack, Supermarket Shriek, Transformers Battlegrounds, which is a
Yeah.
real-time strategy game.
I was like, oh, this is the first game since Activision doesn't have the license, and then I was like,
Look at
I
it.
don't care.
Yeah, look at it. You want to hear something better about it? It's $50.
So G.I. Joe was
40.
like 40. So
It's 40
no,
for
I'm
the
not surprised.
special edition. I think it's 30 for the regular, right? Or maybe I'm thinking the
No,
other
who
way.
gives- It's still too
It's
much.
too much. Is
Like,
the point.
Look at.
Battlegrounds is a mobile game and it's $50. Yeah, I love Transformers. I love that it's Gen 1 style. I am not paying $50 for
I'm
a
looking
mobile game.
for a couple of the movie Transformers games because I just want to play giant robots smashing other giant robots, and that's kind of all I ever want.
Play Platinum's game. That one's real good.
I didn't get into that one. I couldn't. I just I want.
It's Devastation,
else.
right?
Devastation is that one. Also, the High Moon games are really good too.
That's the one. So I have the High Moon ones. There's one I'm missing, which is the last one they did, I think.
They've
It's-
up-resed one of them to PS4 and Xbox. I think it's...
Yeah, but they're not available anymore. So
Oh, that's right. I own it, so I have it, but...
yeah, I have the Cybertron games on 360, and I'm just looking for the rest of the movie titles because they're not terrible games.
No,
only way I
like
want
the Rise, the one from the second movie was actually pretty good.
Revenge of the Fallen. I only remember that because as soon as I finished that movie, I'm like, I'm never watching this thing again.
Well, you didn't like the part about the balls?
Dude, it was a
Devastator
desert.
and his
It was a
bubbles?
desert. I couldn't see what the fuck was going on. It's just masses of metal moving, and I'm like, I don't know who anybody is. This is just chaos. Ugh.
What else is out this week? We've got Monster Truck Championship, Scourge Bringer, Rusty Spout Rescue Adventure, BH Trials, Clea, Lord of the Click.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
I bet you did, you dirty bastard. All right, Nintendo Switch. What do we got this week for Nintendo Switch? A lot of the same stuff we've already talked about. Death Ray Manta, Avicii Evector Encore Edition. I don't know how to say that game. Avicii. Is that how you say it? Battle Hunters. Avicii. There you go. I probably have been told that 12 times, but I just don't care. Battle Hunters. 2 Point Hospital Culture Shock. Bullet Beat. Horus. I don't know if this is a typo, but it says Asterix and Obelix XXL Remastered Edition.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
So Remastered is right?
Because Roman is some part of that thing.
Gotcha.
I'm not really sure.
Double Pug Switch. Fractor. Goner 2. If Found. Luna the Dust Shadow. Nullum. Outbreak Epidemic. Pokemon Sword and Shield The Crown Tundra. Restless Hero. The Red Lantern. They Bleed Pixels. Tool Boy. Torchlight 3 is actually out on Switch this week. It came out last week for Xbox PS4. And War Tile. Oh wait, there's more. Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer featuring The Legend of Zelda Complete Edition. That's a mouthful. Cross Crush. Kakurasu World. I guess I could say that. Maze. And Truck Driving Simulator. So there you go. There are all of your releases for the week. Am I mistaken? There wasn't like a big game in there. Like the next big game is Watch Dogs, right?
Sure. That's the only one
Yeah,
I
I think
have my
that's-
eyes on.
That's
so.
like 2 weeks' time, I think, or something.
2 weeks, or maybe a week for 2 weeks from Friday. When's Pikmin out? Pikmin's out soon, right?
Pikmin's already out, isn't it?
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
I think.
Pikmin's not out. I
might be
guarantee you
over here.
Pikmin is not out.
Hold on.
I
Hold
think
on.
it is
I'm
over
doing.
here.
Europe. Nope, that's the old one.
You can't buy that
I'm a
anymore.
looking. Stupid fucking.
Nintendo's like, fuck you. You're not
I'm
buying
not-
any more Wii U games.
Worldwide, it comes out October 30th.
There you go.
Okay.
And
Let's talk.
it's
Go ahead.
the 29th for Watch Dogs.
Okay, so Watch Dogs and Pikmin, and then we get into next gen. Got it.
Yeah.
Let's do news. Hey, those Double Fine classics are coming to Xbox Game Pass at the end of this month. Got Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, and then what's the third one?
Grim Fandango.
Yes, all remastered, all coming to Xbox Game Pass.
And that also includes Day of the Tentacle. Also has Maniac Mansion in it. So
Well, you can play them all for free if you have Game Pass.
Yep.
There you
I
go.
wonder if they've bought the rights from Lucas, because obviously Double Fine don't.
I think they
own the
did.
rights.
I think they did a while back when they remastered them originally.
Yeah, Double
Ah.
Fine got the licenses back. That's how they got them out on PS4 and stuff.
Oh, there you go. How cool's that?
Now Microsoft owns them. Crazy, right?
Well, they own a lot
the-
of things nowadays.
Hey, and they're not done, according to what I've heard. That's
Well, there's still
Uh,
hope for the Sega buyout yet, eh?
if they bought out Sega, whatever. I heard. You know what? The big one I heard this week that I chuckled at as I heard it was Ubisoft. I'm like, come on.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
You mean the company that was fighting for independence not too long ago? Yeah.
They got bought by
Yeah.
Microsoft. Also, they announced they're coming to like a bunch of games are coming to Stadia. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure Microsoft bought them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The Analog Duo has introduced a new system, a 1080p retro console for TurboGrafx and PC Engine.
This might be the only time.
Really fucking expensive.
Well, no, but I mean, like, it's the only time I think that the actual hardware analog is releasing is cheaper than the official stuff from NEC.
I mean, maybe, but
Because
still, the thing's going to be super
buying
fucking
a
expensive.
TurboGrafx with a CD attachment, or the Duo, like, that's a ton of money right there. But the games are like $100 a piece in Canada. Like, TurboGrafx games that are of worth any quality are super expensive. So I don't know who the fuck this is for.
It's
Other
there was
than
a
the
lot
other-
of people on Twitter like, oh my god. I was like, okay, so number one, you're not going to be able to get it.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, I wanted one of their Game Boys, and they sold out in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wanted
so-
one of those.
Yeah, no, but you're not getting any of this shit. Stop thinking about it. It's too expensive, and they don't love you. Marvel's Avengers, as we mentioned, Series X and PS5 versions have been delayed to 2021, so those will not be available at launch.
But if you play them on the boosted mode, I'm sure they'll be
No.
shit still.
I was gonna say they'll still be boring. All right, great.
Hey, if you get into party chat on the PlayStation 4 now, Sony's gonna record it and spy on you.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, I thought everybody read this news story.
No, what? Sorry, what was that?
So in the firmware 8.0,
Ken's being a little
Facetious?
sarcastic, I think.
Okay.
yeah, people freaked out online. So firmware 8.0 went live this week for the PS4, which, by the way, I did not get because my PS4 Pro is gone.
Oh, say goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So apparently one of the features in this is that party chat is now able to be recorded. And the real reason that they did this was that users could record people in their party to report harassment. And the internet got on a tangent about like, oh my god, you're recording my party chats. You're going to spy on my intimate conversation.
What, with your mates talking about how you're going to fuck someone's mother? Fuck off.
Yeah. Y'all freak out a little too much about
You know
this
what,
listening in.
You know what they ought to do?
Do
Not
it
fucking
anyway?
Not wear a headset. How about that? Don't talk to people online. Or why not use something like, I don't know, Discord and let them record your conversations instead.
Hey, I asked Craig to join me every week so he can record everything that I say and hold it against me.
Yeah, but don't forget he's also recording when you're not asking him. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, Craig, he hangs out in my room sometimes and just records what I say.
I mean, I can't. The problem is that with these terms of service and stuff, to offer anything like this, where you want to record somebody to actually report them for harassment or something like that, you've got to put in these blanket statements that people are going to take the wrong way. Why the fuck do people think Sony wants it? Crappy conversations. They don't. They're not selling you. It's not like Amazon and what's her face. She's going to record it because they want to get data on you, or Google's one. Sony aren't into that. That's not how they make their money. Not yet, anyway. They're not a service provider in that sense. So I don't see why people think there's always. Well, they always go to the nefarious, don't they? They always think someone's like conspiracy theories. That everyone's just sit in your fucking closet with your tin hat on and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
All right then.
Run over.
Hey, there's a Doctor Who game coming out in spring 2021.
That'll probably be crap like all the other Doctor Who games.
Man, you're such a beacon of positivity on this show.
I know that's the last. Last couple have been shit.
Well, maybe you should have played the Doctor Who portion of Lego Dimensions.
No.
Nobody played Lego Dimensions,
No.
Anthony. Don't lie.
I'm the only person. I'm one of.
Yeah.
I have all the characters, so.
Oh, that's funny.
The problem is that Lego Dimensions was without a doubt the coolest Toys to Life game. Just it came out literally when everyone was done with them. That should have come out.
No. The one that came out literally when everybody was done with them was Starlink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
True
yeah.
story.
You're right.
Starlink was really good.
Yeah,
Starlink is really good. Especially if you play it on the Switch and you get to play as Star Fox, motherfucker.
That's right.
Hey, do y'all want to know the
and you get a cool R-Wing.
That's true.
You do?
That thing was rad.
That's the version I have.
That's the version everybody should, even though it runs like shit.
I have
Yeah,
the
it does run like
Xbox
shit.
version.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have the Xbox version. It runs so good, but man, it doesn't have Star Fox.
Yeah, well, I don't
Yeah.
have a Switch, so this was all I had. I was like, yeah, this game's alright.
All right, you
Yeah.
want to know? You want to know the 30 launch games coming to the Xbox Series X? We have the whole list.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, and this is the most weirdest launch lineup ever. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
That's
Obviously.
out on current gen. How many of these are also out on current gen?
John, just shut up, because that's like one game. Okay.
I'm glad no one else was talking, so we can just cut out Ken saying, John, shut up.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Borderlands 3, Bright Memory 1.0, Cuisine Royale,
Wow.
Dead by Daylight, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Dirt 5, Enlisted, Evergate, The Falconeer, Fortnite, Forza Horizon 4, Gears 5, Gears Tactics, Grounded, King Oddball, Maneater, Manifold Garden, NBA 2K21, Observer System Redux, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Planet Coaster, Sea of Thieves, Tetris Effect Connected, The Tourist, War Thunder, Warhammer Chaos Bane Slayer Edition, Watch Dogs Legion, WRC 9 FIA World Rally Championship, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and yes, Your Grace. There's your
Now,
30 Series X games.
Please repeat that list, taking off all the games that you can currently buy.
Gears Tactics. On console.
Fucking hell, I mean, I'm excited for the next generation, I really am, but that is the most pathetic launch lineup I've
Okay,
heard.
hold on. No.
No, it's not, but you're
PlayStation
right.
4 and Xbox One had some terrible lineup games.
Knack, don't you dare diss Knack.
I will diss-knack
The fact
all
that you're
fucking
saying
day.
Knack, and I know you're being a fucking
Being an
kidder.
asshole.
Yeah, speaks
But
volumes.
come on,
It's like-
at least Knack wasn't already out. Knack wasn't on the PlayStation 3.
Oh, good. So glad that Knack is not on PlayStation 3. It can
You're
only be done on the
missing
PlayStation 4.
You're missing my point,
He gave you Gears Tactics.
which is on PC.
Great. That's a totally different experience than consoles.
It probably, you know what? It probably is.
Yakuza's
And I'm not gonna knock
Yakuza's
it.
not out on anything. Neither is Assassin's Creed. Neither is Dirt 5. I mean, these
No,
games
but
aren't
these will
out.
also be on the Xbox and the PS4.
Yeah, and that's going to be the case with every. I think PS5
and-
has Destruction All Stars, Demon Souls, and everything else is on PS4, right?
Yeah.
Well, Miles Morales is definitely
Yeah.
so.
So
Yeah.
is Sackboy. So
Yeah.
is they have
Yeah.
another game at launch. What is it? What am I forgetting?
Yep.
Godfall.
Godfall.
Oh, Godfall. Yeah, that's not first party, but yeah, that is. So that Destruction All Stars and Demon Souls are next gen games that
And
won't be
again,
on PS4.
that's also a bit shit.
Godfall is a bit shit. Godfall is a lot shit. I'm guessing.
I've not seen that, but I guess it's just the world we live in nowadays. And don't get me wrong, I think, especially seeing someone who's not buying the PS5 to start off with, I think it's great that I'll be able to buy Miles Morales on the PlayStation 4 if I want. But it does sully the launch lineup slightly.
I think one of the things that really sullies it is the fact that Microsoft made it so that you can play like the cross-gen stuff, like the smart delivery actually hurts the launch lineup. Because if all of these games were just like, if you think about past launches, most of the games at the launch are available on the other machines. The problem this time around is you don't have to pick between the two versions. You just buy one and you got it.
Yeah.
So like your
That's
Borderlands.
not a problem.
No, but it's a problem in optics.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
me,
no, I think the smart delivery stuff, and I think that's actually super cool. But you are right in the fact that it breaks the illusion of a launch lineup in a certain way.
Let's all remember Gun for the Xbox
Yeah.
Gun shit.
and the 360, where the 360 version you're like, man, that's got to be the better version, right? I should buy that one. It's $10 more. And now it's like, well, I own Borderlands 3, so I guess I have the Xbox Series X or PS5
well,
version.
it's just like I think about. I don't go back as far as like Xbox PS2 to 360 PS3, but like we're at the point where it's fidelity rather than like
graphics.
graphic.
Yeah.
So you look at Wolfenstein, the New Order, the 360 version, which is on 4 DVDs,
Oh, bloody
Yeah, I
hell.
remember that. Yeah.
but looks fantastic still. Like it's only just the actual clarity of the image, but they did a very good job of porting that to 360. But then you also have stuff like, everybody brings this one up, Shadow of Mordor, where it's missing part of the game.
Actual that gameplay feature that wasn't it?
Right.
That's literally the only game to ever have. Like, that's the only example of that, because that's the only game that ever happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
but
was what everyone thought that was going to be a thing, didn't they? Take off and all sorts, like the whole Nemesis system. And I think there are other games that kind of feature it.
I think there was one game that kind of did it, and then nobody else.
There was
did it.
something recent that had
Yeah.
something similar, but it's not done the same way exactly.
No.
So it just you don't care. But like all those games, like for the most part, it wasn't a huge jump, and you're never going to get that again. You're just not.
No.
So
The way that developers work now, if you look some of the recent releases, takes like The Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima, the visual fidelity there is absolutely breathtaking. And again, you're not going to see you're not going to see a kind of leap until maybe the same time frame in the next generation. It takes time for developers to get used to the tools at their disposal, I think. So it's
it also doesn't help that this time around we had the consoles in between.
yeah, that also
We had a
is
bunch of
weird.
4K games out there already, so.
So like
I am.
Go ahead.
Go on. I was going to say I am super looking forward to Dirt 5 out of all of them. I think that's the one that I'm looking forward to with most. But again, that will be on something that I could potentially play if I wasn't getting me Series X on my X. So,
like I have an original Xbox One. I have an original PS4. So I
You're
guess
gonna see
for
a
me
huge
it's going to
bump.
be bigger.
yeah, you're definitely going to see a nice bump.
So, but like this is kind of where we're at this point. So, I don't look at the launch lineups and go, oh, it's on the current gen as well. I know what these are now, is that they're basically computers without the hassle.
I think, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that there has been so much emphasis on not the actual graphical fidelity, although obviously a lot of them have said, it's going to run 4K, and in some cases 4K 60, depending, but the speed as well. That the big thing this generation is these super fast SSDs, load times and things like that. And I can see why, because again, there's only so much you're going to do with graphical fidelity. You have to look at other ways, things like AI, things like the speed of getting you into those games. Because if one thing has plagued a lot of real high quality games this generation, things like Bloodborne and those type of games, like it's just horrendous load times, and I think they tried really, really hard to combat that this time around.
Yeah. At the cost. It's going to cost you out the asshole.
Well, technology is new. It's embracing brand new technology. I mean, let's face it, they essentially jumped SSDs. The last bunch of consoles, even like the X, they had mechanical hard drives. SSDs were available, but they've kind of piggybacked over them and have gone on to the next generation of this NVMe type of SSD, which is completely missing out, and it is on the bleeding edge of storage technology. So they are getting ahead of the curve this time around, and I think it'll make a big difference to people's playing experience. Things like the quick resume, and that was promised back at the beginning of this current generation. Now I think they've actually got the tools to make it more of a viable thing.
All right, let's move on. Speaking of next-gen consoles, Microsoft detailed all of their Xbox backward compatibility stuff, auto HDR for all games, double the frame rates in some cases, just massive improvements across the board. A lot of Xbox One games will be running at 60 FPS. Every 360 Xbox, I mean, every game can do auto HDR. That's cool shit.
I think I remember watching the Digital Foundry. There was like one that couldn't, but you got to think out of all of those, that's a pretty good hit rate.
Yeah, and what's funny about that is like that's the people focusing on the 10 games that don't work on the PS4. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. I saw that list, and that list is like, I haven't heard of half of these bloody games. Come on.
I mean, Life of Black Tiger made it over. Come on.
And most of them are delisted.
Yeah. Who cares?
I'm sorry, you can't play Afro Samurai 2.
That game is
but get fucked.
Registration for Xbox Fan Fest went up. Did anybody register?
Where is it this year?
It's digital.
It's online.
So I registered for it, but what's funny is it turned into pre-ordering consoles again. Like their website was just constantly like, this kept dying. So that was fun. I finally did get in. I don't know if I'll get anything or if I don't know what it is. I just figured if I register, maybe they'll send me some cool like digital treats or something. Hell, I don't know.
Yeah.
The new Xbox update is out, which is the dashboard for the new consoles.
Doesn't run in 4K though, does it?
John, don't spoil the news. Okay, we'll get
you
there.
know I love doing it.
Let's just go. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about. So the Xbox. So here was my favorite comment about this was John. I think it was John from Digital Foundry. Pointed out, he's like, the thing that disappoints me most about the Series X is that the dashboard isn't in 4K. The internet's like, holy shit, how can a dashboard not be in 4K? Everybody with an Xbox all of a sudden went, wait a minute, does that mean my dashboard's not in 4K now? I didn't notice. Shit.
No one gives a shit. I really don't care. I mean, yes, I honestly think the PlayStation 5 dashboard looks nicer. I think it's we'll talk about that pleasing.
In a minute, yeah.
But I don't give two fucks about whether it's in 4K or not. That's the place that you spend the least amount of time on your console.
Also, let's remember why they did that. They actually did do that for a reason. So the original Xbox One dashboard for the X was in 4K. And the developers came to Microsoft and said, hey, can we have that gig of RAM back for games? And Microsoft said, okay, we dropped the resolution of the dashboard down to 1080p. You get an extra gig back for games.
Where is that gig better spent? Fucking.
I mean, obviously for your dashboard.
Again, you spend
I
2% of your console life on the pissing dashboard.
it's not well. Like, look at the PS3. You had 1080p on the menu and 720p in games. That's so fucking annoying.
The resolution shit on the PS3 was just annoying in general.
Well, that too. The odd game would run in 1080p.
Yeah.
Or if you're unlucky, 1080i for some reason. You're
Oh
just
Christ, I remember that shit.
Didn't Metal Gear Solid 5 run at 1080i?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think
remember
so.
that.
A bunch of them are messes. Yeah. So
Back when I had to worry about my TV running a 1080 signal.
Yeah, I mean, it was just to have the 1080 plastered on it. Oh, it's a full HD experience.
you basically have 720p. You know.
If you put my Xbox dashboard in 4K, of course I would notice the difference. That's not the question here. The question here is how much does it matter?
It doesn't. And the thing, like, you would know, where you notice that type of stuff? On your phone.
But
More
even
so
your
than
phone
anything.
does drop resolution.
You're absolutely correct, but like when you're closer to the device, that matters.
Anthony, I don't know about you, but I have an
So-
85-inch television and I sit 2 feet from it.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say, to be fair, anywhere in your room, you're probably close to your
I'm
TV.
kidding.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
literally I sit like 8 feet away from an 85-inch TV and I'm still like, damn, I'm too close.
But it's like that's when you start to notice because your menus are very basic shapes.
Yes.
That's where you start to notice it. But like again, it's basic fucking shapes. So like, yeah, you would notice a bump, but like it isn't as noticeable until you have an actual comparison. You wouldn't know it's not. You wouldn't know it's not until like it would switch, and then you'd be like, "Why does it look worse or better?" One of the two. So
here's the funny thing about all of this. So this, as with every other week leading up to these console launches, this started a fight between Plastic Warriors online because we got to see the PlayStation 5 UI finally. Now, before we get into the Plastic Box Wars, can I just say that thing looks cool, man?
Yeah, it looks slick.
That looks not just. I love the focus of like wherever you bring up your interface, it's still focused on the game. It's still the game experience is front and center. I think that's fantastic. I like the fact that the icons at the top are minimalistic. I love the fact that they've now got media and games as two separate parts of the menu. But I think the interface stuff, when they were showing you the Sackboy Adventures, when you popped it open, you had this like a wealth of information about the game you're playing. And I know that this isn't going to work for every game, but things like tutorials and videos on how to help, or how long how long the level's going to take you based upon your game playing history. Fantastic, clever, real clever stuff.
Ryan, you wanted to say something?
I was just going to say I'm looking forward to the same stuff that John just mentioned. That I was really going to say almost the same thing John said.
So yeah, to kind of build on that, seeing that stuff was really neat. And this is something, it's stupid. It's a stupid thing, but we all love new toys. We all love new technology. One of the things I'll be disappointed about with the Xbox Series X, I already have that dashboard.
Yeah.
So there won't be any like playing around and learning where things are and discovering neat little things about the UI, and like I get it for familiarity, but I'm also disappointed that like November 15th I won't care.
Right.
But on November 12th, I'm totally going to play around in that PS5 dashboard for like an hour. You know what I mean? Now, to kind of talk about what John said, I think all this stuff is cool. I think it's going to end up like the PS4, where they showed all this really cool shit that you could do, and nobody's going to use it.
Yeah, that's the only fair, isn't it? Because again, it's great. Other than Sony's
First party games,
developer
yeah.
stuff, yeah, you're not. You, I'm sure you will see some, but you're not going to have anywhere near the level of detail that Sony are going to put into this because it'll be a mandate for the first party studios. When you're making a game, you're making it, and it's going to have these features that support the interface. But for third parties, it's completely optional, and we all know that they like to have parity between the 2 or 3 different platforms solely because it's easier for them. That's the reason why not many developers take advantage of things like the touchpad on the controller. It's essentially a map button because it's harder to develop a whole unique thing for a single platform, and that's what makes me worry about the haptic feedback of the controllers, because as cool as that actually looks, and I think it'll really, when I first get my hands on it, I think it'll be really interesting, but it'll be relegated to first party stuff.
Yeah, I think seeing the way Microsoft is kind of approaching everything, like we've got the same controller basically, we've got the same dashboard basically. Like right now, it's a negative because people are like, I'm buying new shit, I want new shit. 6 months down the line, everybody's going to be like, why did Sony put all this shit in here? Because nobody's using it. And that sucks. It does. But I understand it because you're building, like John said, you're building a game that's going to be on PC, it's going to be on Xbox, it's going to be on PlayStation. Who's going to spend the extra, 3 to 6 months of development time to put a fucking picture-in-picture video of you beating a level? Like, who's going to do that outside of first-party Sony?
Not many, I would imagine.
Yeah, I just don't see it. Like, and that sucks because new features are cool. Like, you get
it's
one
a cool feature. I mean, again, it's seamless. It's something that I mean, maybe not us guys because we're old, long in the tooth, and been playing games for years. But you imagine something like Sackboy, a young 10-year-old picking that up for the first time, stuck on a level. Can you imagine if we were 10 years old and had the ability to do that when you were stuck on one of the Mario levels, to be able to help just without a press of the button? Fantastic.
Yeah, as someone who is currently using my laptop to look up walkthroughs on a game while I'm playing the game, I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, and I would be that little kid that would be pissed because like 90% of the games don't support it.
Yeah.
Like where's my picture-in-picture for this game I'm trying to beat? Oh wait, the developer didn't bother to put it in. So like I hope eventually they build it so that it can be sourced. So like you could just implement like, here's our YouTube channel.
Yeah, but they don't like APIs, do they? Don't like because the whole trophy thing was a big, because they took away the API for that because they don't like developers or third party developers having too much access to the systems that they use. I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing that UI demo video did was give me more interest in Sackboy than anything up to this point.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
That does look super cool.
And I'm like, I had no interest in this game until you did this video. Now, on the flip side, I still have zero interest in Destruction All-Stars, and apparently so does Sony because they didn't even show you play the game. So,
yeah, I don't know any. I have not heard
All-Stars
one person who said they're excited for that game.
Isn't that the Ubisoft one, or is that?
No, that's a first-party Sony game, John.
Is it really? What's that one that's Ubisoft's doing, like a roller rink thing?
That's next year. I forget what it's called.
I thought that's what that was.
Roller Champions?
I've no idea what the name was.
No, it's Roller Champions. I just named it.
No, that's a different one.
Roller Champions is the roller rink one from
That's
Ubisoft.
not the one John's thinking of. John's thinking of, hold on, I'm pulling up the name. Riders Republic.
No, I'm not. I'm thinking of Roller Champions.
Are you thinking of strictly the skating game?
On skates, yes.
Oh, well, no. There's also one coming out from Ubisoft called Riders Republic, which is
sequel to Steep, yeah. Okay, an official sequel to Steep, yeah. No, the one that Anthony said, where you're in a roller derby type thing, that's what I thought that Destruction All-Stars was. That's what, I don't know why.
All-Stars is in cars.
Is it?
Yes!
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's how much marketing has affected me on this
That's
game.
how
I
much-
had
yeah.
zero idea about that.
Oh my god, this is funny. Holy shit.
But Sackboy does look cool. I will definitely get that on my PS4.
I'm never playing another Little Big Planet game.
Sumo Digital are good.
Sumo Digital's great. They made the last one though, and I can't.
So I know I mentioned earlier that Xbox Hall of Fame. I don't know if you guys are watching that. That's like a achievement contest. So I took a look at the leaderboards this week just to be curious. You know how much the number one guy has? And this, take into account, this is only for the month that they're running this. Can you guess how much the number one guy has?
It's going to be something fucking ridiculous. Like, I don't have a job ridiculous.
Like, dude, even if you didn't have a job, I don't know that this is 250,000 achievements.
Bloody hell.
Like, how? Like, did you just
He
create a
found-
new account and buy all of the games that take 5 minutes to get 1,000
Yeah,
points in?
for sure.
Probably, yeah.
Why? It probably
'Cause they
costs
win
you more than you're going to win in the contest.
Yeah, because some people don't have great risk reward thoughts process. Like they can't do that in their head. They're like they don't have the what am I putting into this? What am I getting out of it?
I do that all the time. Like, I look at the rewards every week, and, you know, there's always, like, you can earn 2,500 points if you buy 3 movies. And I'm like, well, let me think about this for a second. 2,500 points is basically $2.50,
Yeah.
which is less than what I paid for one of the movies.
Yes. That's not very good risk reward, is it?
No, it's not. And I get smart, and I go, well, I'm not going to do that. Unless I was just going to buy movies anyway. You know,
Unfortunately, Xbox isn't my play. You know, I've got an Apple TV, so that's where I buy my movies. But I do buy more stuff digitally nowadays, so I'm sure that'll appease to some people.
well,
Probably.
I don't use Xbox for my movies. If I buy a movie on Xbox, I make sure it's Movies Anywhere compatible, because then I get it on Apple, Vudu, Movies Anywhere. I get it everywhere else.
Mm.
So I don't buy movies on Xbox unless they are Movies Anywhere compatible. Because I'm sure as shit not watching a movie on my Xbox. So I bought a Roku.
I had to use
motherfucker.
my Xbox yesterday as a DVD player Blu-ray player for the first time in about a year and a half.
Motherfucker, I used it as a DVD player last week because there's a
I'm-
Jackie Chan movie that is not available digitally. So I dug out my fucking the CD wallets that I have for
Oh, wow.
fucking my DVD movies, and I watched Jackie Chan's Who Am I, and I watched the G.I. Joe movie because neither one of those are on digital. And I'm not talking about the new like the fucking cartoon movie from '87.
Yes, where they tried to do the same thing as the Transformers movie and then realized it wasn't gonna work out, so no one could actually die. Yeah.
Hey, Burgess Meredith plays Globulus.
Yeah,
Motherfucker.
that's great.
That's all you need. Fucking Don Johnson's in that movie.
Great.
But no, I was actually pulling out. I'll tell you one thing I was impressed with about DVDs. They sound really good.
Yeah, so there's here's my music nerd shit of the week. They started at one point releasing like high res audio on DVDs. So I have 2 or 3. And then they started doing it on Blu-ray as well. The Blu-rays never took off in the same way. But yeah, high res audio is usually done with DVDs.
Man, from a
have a
movie
flaming-
that was like from the '90s, watching that Jackie Chan movie, I was like, man, this sounds really good.
I really wish I had a nice Atmos sound system, but they're just so expensive.
Yeah, I
My-
don't have an Atmos. I have a really nice Yamaha soundbar with a subwoofer.
My soundbar's all right, but it's not nothing fancy. And that's the one thing, you know, you get some really good looking movies in 4K now with HDR, and it's like Dolby Atmos would be great because I've got the app on the Xbox and PC. I paid for it as in the sale, and that gives you for headphones. It'll give you the Dolby Atmos experience, which is cool because you don't need any special equipment for that. But when you're watching a movie, you're watching a movie. I don't like wearing headphones when watching a movie. I like to. But again, I think the cheapest I found a soundbar, Dolby Atmos soundbar system was like 380 quid. So I thought, nah,
Yeah,
No, thank you. I'll wait until they really drop in price.
I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with the soundbar that I have because it has this this mode called like virtual surround, and I swear to God, I hear shit behind me even though I don't have speakers behind me. It does really well with like casting room sound around.
It depends on the shape of your room and where you've got it located as well, I guess.
Yeah, I had to find a good place for my sub because my sub wasn't getting very good bass in one spot, so I moved it to another one, and now like it's real good. So, yeah, I will be excited to get these new consoles. I need to know how long the HDMI cable is for the PS5 because apparently these cables are going to be 2.1.
Yep.
And while my TV doesn't support 2.1 right now, I still want to run it that way for whenever I do.
Is your 85 a Sony?
Yes.
What model?
850?
Okay.
I think it's 850.
I think they're going to be adding
I got it for
2.1
$2.
support to it.
Like through a firmware update or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well,
I think
if they
that's
do,
what I
that'll be
heard.
sweet. Yeah,
Because
that'll
I
be
know
sweet
they're
if they
doing
do.
that on the. I know they're doing it on the 900s and higher because they're advertising the 900s and higher as PS5 ready, but they're not really PS5 ready because they don't have 2.1 yet. They won't have 2.1 until they get an update.
Well, if they do,
I know all this
2.1
because
is-
I've been pricing for another television for my office upstairs.
Is the
So that
2.1 stuff like that allows the 120 hertz stuff?
120 hertz, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, my
I mean, there's
TV
probably
can't
going
deal
to
with
be there's probably only going to be a handful of games, especially early on,
Well,
that
Dirt 5's one of
support
them.
it.
Mm.
What'd you say?
Dirt 5's one of them.
Oh yeah,
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 Dirt 5.
Dirt
They've got a mode
5
for 120.
Dirt 5 is at least on Xbox. I don't know about PlayStation. And so is the Falconeer. Falconeer runs 120.
at 4K.
It runs 60 at 8K.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dirt,
These consoles are pretty powerful.
Dirt 5 is 1080.
Yeah, it's
120
1080,
hertz.
120.
But still,
Yep.
I can only imagine how good that'll look. I don't really want to buy another TV yet, though.
I don't know. I have not been impressed at all with anything I've seen from Dirt 5 yet.
Oh, I love a good Dirt game.
Yeah, I mean, I just mean
Arcadey
visually,
Dirt.
it doesn't look great to me. But I'm not also watching it on a 4K UHD display.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big thing. I don't think we realize how good some of this stuff's going to look until we actually get it. Because a YouTube video can only give you so
compress.
much.
Yeah, even at 4K, it can't give you HDR and it compresses, so you're not going to really get a true feel until it's actually running natively on your telly.
Yep, I need to see this shit on my screen.
Not long.
I know, 3 weeks, 3 motherfucking weeks. Now that's granted all of our deliveries show up, right?
Yeah, right. I'm still nervous that mine's going to end up canceled.
I'm nervous that I'm not going to get it on time. I don't think I'm going to get because I got the Xbox at Best Buy and I've got the PlayStation at Amazon, and I don't
My
think they'll
PlayStation's at Amazon, and I'm always a little bit nervous.
I think they would have canceled it by now.
I would hope.
But
You'd think.
I also am afraid that like the 12th is on a Thursday, so like, will we get it before the weekend? You think?
I don't know.
Makes
I know
me
everybody's
nervous.
working for the weekend.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable that my Best Buy one is going to show. Like, Best Buy has always been really good about getting things to me on time. But yeah, the Amazon one scares me. Thankfully, that's my PlayStation, and I'm not as excited for that one, but I still would like to have it, because like I told John before the show, I took vacation time the 11th, 12th, and 13th. So I would like, a 5-day weekend that is almost completely packed with next generation glory.
Goodness.
Yeah, that would be a really good 5-day weekend. Just gonna say that. Anyway, I don't think I have any more news. Godfall is $70. I still can't get over that.
Talk about what Phil said.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Phil's interview.
just,
I kind of
just rub it in.
Well, I kind of hinted at that earlier, but yeah. See, here's the thing. Like, people are still hanging on that interview because he didn't come out and just say, y'all PlayStation people ain't getting Bethesda games. But there's a reason why he can't say that yet. They don't own them yet.
Yeah, they don't own it yet.
No, they don't.
I mean, he's all but told you, if you want to play Starfield, you're going to have to buy an Xbox or have Game Pass. If you want to play Elder Scrolls 6, you're going to have to buy an Xbox or have Game Pass. He's basically told you that in every way that he can until they buy them, and then Starfield advertisement will be only on Xbox. So, and I still see people clinging, and I've never seen anything like. I get it, like nobody's ever bought anything as big as Bethesda. But I mean, it's not.
Again, we spoke about this when this whole deal went through, but you can understand why people would think they would take the multi platform option. They've done it before with the Switch, but the Switch I think is a different beast anyway. But I just find it too hard to believe that you would spend that much money and not use it to your advantage to sell the hardware and services that you provide only. So to me, I think it was always going to be, going forward, your Dooms, your Fallout, your Elder Scrolls, anything that isn't already on or being developed for PlayStation doesn't go there. Sure they'll continue support for things like Fallout 76
Elder Scrolls,
and Elder Scrolls Online. But I don't expect to see Fallout 5 on PlayStation. I don't expect to see Starfield on PlayStation. I think they scrap however far they've got with the development. And I'm sorry to have to say this, but I think I'll make it a better game because they're only developing for Xbox and PC. And the more resources can be focused to those. And let's face it, Bethesda games need a bit of a kick. So that's a good thing. But the Sony, the people who are exclusive to Sony, who only buy Sony products, I'd be pissed if I was that person. As much as they've been dragged through the mud recently, Bethesda have made some fantastic games and own some fantastic licenses.
Yeah, for sure. And I get it. Y'all feel the same way Xbox players felt 6 months ago when Avengers said Spider-Man was only coming to the PlayStation. I mean, it's not on that scale, but I totally get the anger. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. It sucks when games are not available more places, and that's not why I make the
This business is business.
Yeah, it's not why I make the comments I make. I think it's awful. I think games should be everywhere. If I could, I'd play God of War on the Xbox. I'd play Halo on the PlayStation. You know what I mean? But that's not the way it works. And everybody out there going, "Well, Microsoft games always come to PlayStation." The only one that's on PlayStation is Minecraft. No other first-party Microsoft game is on the PlayStation. People say Cuphead. Cuphead's not a first-party game.
Nope.
So I don't know why. Minecraft is a fucking platform. It is a phenomenon.
And it was also on those platforms before Microsoft bought them.
Exactly. So they're not going to take that away. But
no, not while it sells money.
No. And I get that you think Microsoft but again, we go back to what I said initially. Why spend $7.5 billion if you're just going to keep things par for the course?
Nope. You use that to your advantage. It costs that much. And yes, their main focus at the moment is selling Game Pass. That's their big thing. You can see that's where they're putting a lot of their marketing. It's all about Game Pass. But in order to sell Game Pass to more people, you have to put stuff on there that you can't get anywhere else. And that's the whole point of the Bethesda move.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're look how fast we're seeing it. Doom Eternal is in Game Pass.
I reckon by the end, I reckon that you'll see a slow drip until the sale's complete, and then they'll just all go on there.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we're already seeing the Double Fine stuff coming over. Brutal Legend went on to Game Pass like 2 weeks ago. Now we've got.
Isn't that still EA though that owns that?
No, no.
Oh, so they got the rights to that as well. Ah, okay.
I believe Double Fine owns the rights to Brutal Legend.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Yeah. So we've got that on Game Pass. We've got all of the, the old Tim Schafer adventure games coming to Xbox Game Pass. Psychonauts is in there. Psychonauts 2 will be in there. Now all of Bethesda stuff's going to slowly start, like John said, drip feeding into Game Pass. And everything new coming. So like when Deathloop, when that exclusivity, whatever it is, 6 months, a year, whatever, when that ends, boom, right into Xbox Game Pass. Same with Ghostwire Tokyo. The Evil Within games. I'm surprised that they didn't somehow get the Evil Within games into Game Pass before Halloween. That kind of shocks me a little bit.
Well,
but,
there was still a couple of weeks left.
yeah, but I just don't see it happening. But, regardless, Game Pass, so many fucking games to play. And, I mean, we joked about that launch lineup for the Xbox, but, there's 6 or 7 games in there that are straight into Game Pass. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
6
then
or
people
7
get pissed
games.
when games don't go into Game Pass, like Yakuza.
Yeah, I know people are upset about Yakuza. I'm like, that's a new game. The old Yakuzas were ports.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, yes, the Yakuza games, as soon as they came to Xbox, went on Game Pass, but they were a different kettle of fish. I still think that it will go on Game Pass at some point, but
Sure.
that game also looks super fucking cool.
Somebody pointed this out to me the other day, and I think it's brilliant. When I think it goes to Game Pass?
When it goes on
March,
PlayStation.
in March when it comes out for PlayStation.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
that
probably
makes perfect sense. So, yeah, no, if you're buying a next-gen console and you buy an Xbox, you have Game Pass. Not only do you have 200 games already there, but 6 of the launch games are going straight into Game Pass. So, all your Xbox games work, all your 360 games work, all your Xbox One games work. So, I mean, truthfully, at launch, the Xbox Series X plays about 4,000 games. And so does the PlayStation 5, to be fair. So, anyway, let's do an email from Antonio. It's entitled Next Gen 4G. Sup, fellas? I've been playing Mortal Kombat. Oh, we forgot to mention Mortal Kombat 11 is coming to next gen.
Yeah, so my assumption on the whole free upgrade thing for Mortal Kombat is that you have to own the what's the newest version that just came out?
No, you just it's Mortal Kombat Ultimate. You get the upgrades regardless, but if you don't have the DLC, then you just can't play those parts of it.
Gotcha.
So it'll be on both. And then they also announced the Combat Pack 2, which comes with Melina and Rain and everybody's most requested character, John Rambo.
Rambo.
Yeah, I don't care about Rambo.
They got Sly Stallone to voice him.
I got to tell you, from my other group of friends that don't really play games, I got a random message like, "Hey, did you see Rambo's going to be in the new Mortal Kombat?" And then I had to explain, well, it's not really a new Mortal Kombat, and I had to go through that whole conversation. But
yeah,
it's what I like about it is Rambo versus the Terminator or Rambo versus RoboCop.
Man,
That's what I'm here for.
I can't wait to hear the dialogue between them, especially the Terminator and Rambo. Come on, man. So some fellas have been playing MK11 as usual and finally got around to utilizing the augments, which got retooled when the Aftermath DLC was released. I have to say, if you utilize them correctly, you can make gear that is absolutely unbeatable in the towers. My Raiden's health bar barely dips below 80% and finishes a round in 10 to 15 seconds. On a next-gen note, I doubt I'll really play anything. The day the PS5 launches, I'll be downloading 4 games, 5 of Cyberpunk preloads are live, and I totally expect PSN to shit the bed. Being that I have a Slim, I'm equally excited to be able to experience some PS4 games on the PS5 that I never got to experience on the Pro. I guess we're all still waiting for that list of 100 games that will get a boost on the system. And one last thing, one of you needs to play the MGS collection for a few minutes on the Series X and report how it looks and plays because I seriously want to know. I want you to know that I downloaded that this weekend and I'm ready to boot it up. on launch day. So
That was on Game Pass at one point as well, wasn't it? I remember rightly.
yes, I believe so.
Mm.
But of course, I own it.
Of course you do.
So yeah, I have Lords of Shadow, Splinter Cell, Metal Gear Solid.
Why Lords
Um,
of Shadow?
I love Lords of Shadow. It's one of my favorite 360 games.
Oh wow, cool.
So I have a bunch of games that now Lords of Shadow 2 can sit in my install queue because I am not reinstalling
Yeah, that was apparently quite poor. I
Yeah.
remember.
That game is not good. But the first Lords of Shadow, I've been looking for an excuse to replay it, and if it gets upgraded with auto HDR and a bunch of other bells and whistles, I'll totally play it.
Yeah, I think I might, because I think that I've got that game because I think it was free on Game Pass or something. Not Game Pass, Gold for one point. I'm sure it was. So I definitely have it. I need to play it. I never played it first time around.
I will play the intro sequence to Metal Gear Solid 2 again for the 6,000th time. But to be fair, and I'm going to pose this question to everybody except for Anthony because he's not buying the next-gen console.
Correct.
The first game that I'm booting up on the Xbox Series X, can anybody here guess what it is?
Overwatch.
Which has zero upgrade.
Yeah.
Can you hear the disappointment in my voice?
I just feel like if I don't at least boot it up first, that I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Let me see
Right?
what next gen's all about. All right, let me pull a game that's
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
pull out a game that came out in like 2015.
Well done, Ken.
You know
You're
what?
doing it wrong.
You know
You're
what, Anthony? That game might have come out in 2015, but
I don't want to hear it.
I have more time in that game than any other game.
I'm gonna be in the same spot I was with the PlayStation 4, where I'm gonna have a game in my hands that I won't be playing until the PlayStation 5, and that's Assassin's Creed.
Because you bought the PS4 version for
Right,
$10
and I don't
less.
want to. Yeah, and I don't want to start it on PS4.
But it's only 2 days, right?
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed
so.
launches on the 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to get Assassin's Creed. I don't know. I think I'll probably be playing Cyberpunk at that point.
Oh fuck! I forgot Cyberpunk comes out.
It doesn't come out until the 17th. Though.
I thought it came out the same
No.
day.
No, it's the week
Yeah.
after.
Oh well, in that case, Binding of Isaac is what I'll probably launch.
Oh, and you just made fun of me?
I know. I knew you'd say that.
I mean, come on, John.
What?
You know,
That's my Overwatch.
I understand that, but you can't make fun of me when you're just as fucking guilty.
That's why I said it.
Son of a bitch. All right. We didn't talk about this in the news, but that's because I knew we had a tweet about it. David wants to tell us he's 0 for 1 on his BK PS5 system. What's more disheartening is I got home and my order was wrong. That's what you get for shopping at Burger King.
Yeah, first off, don't
Sorry,
come to the connoisseurs of fast food at the N4G podcast with your Burger King nonsense.
Your Burger King bullshit.
The last
Okay.
time you should have eaten at Burger King was to get the games on the 360, and that was it.
So, John, if you're not aware, in America, Burger King is doing the Xbox thing where if you buy a 2 for $5, you
What's
get
2 for $5?
like 2 Whoppers, 2 chicken fries.
Oh, okay.
2 for $5.
Two things that barely can count as food.
All right,
Yeah.
for $5.
So if you buy that, they give you this like token that you can use to scratch off in the app to see if you win a PS5.
Okay.
So jokingly, I told my wife this weekend, I was like, I'm gonna go get some food. Do you want a PS5 or an Xbox? Basically saying, do you want Burger King or Taco Bell?
I was
the thing
Taco
is-
Bell doing something similar, but for the Series X. Right.
Yeah, but get this: at Taco Bell, you only have to buy one thing:
Oh,
a medium or large Mountain Dew.
Oh, okay.
I don't even think it has to be Mountain Dew. Can't it just be a drink?
Yeah, I think it's just I think it's just done with Mountain Dew as like the whatever
Yeah.
advertisement. But if you
Well,
buy
of
a
course
medium
it
or large, if you buy a medium or large drink, you get a code on the cup, and you text that code, and they tell you if you won.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all you got to do. At Burger King, you got to
Oh.
buy 2 shitty sandwiches.
Shitty. Emphasis on shitty.
Oh my God! I had Burger King last week, and it was just because it was convenient, and it might have been the most disgusting thing I've eaten.
The last time I had Burger King, they burned my food. I was getting chicken nuggets. How the fuck did you? There's no fire. Like, it was burnt. That's
Man.
how fucking goddamn.
Burger King is like literally the low. Like if I did a tier list of fast food, Burger King would be at the goddamn bottom.
It's
I don't remember where it was. I was very recently, and it wasn't close to where I live, but I walked past in the UK a smash burger.
Really?
Smash
Yeah, I didn't
Burger's
go
pretty-
in because I thought there is no way on God's green earth there's that going to be better than the smash burger I had in America. Because the Five Guys isn't as nice as they are in the States. But I walked past and I thought, that's the first smash burger I've seen outside of the US.
Yeah, I mean,
I love smash burger.
Smash Burger's okay. Five Guys is
That's
still
my
the king of the
favourite.
burger.
back
No.
on dunking on the terrible
Oh, you
food.
hadn't finished. Oh, sorry.
Oh God, no! It is the exact when they do like a fake restaurant in like video games, like the ones in San Andreas stand out the most.
Mhm.
What you think they're making fun of McDonald's, but they're accurately representing a Burger King.
I don't know. Saints Row had freckle bitches. That was a Wendy's.
Freckle bitches is clearly Wendy's,
Yeah.
but again, like you can't go into that restaurant, unfortunately. Like when you can enter the restaurants, they're making fun of Burger King because no McDonald's looks like that. They
Burger
always look like
King-
shit. Every
Burger King
looks
when
dirty.
I was a kid, Burger King was delicious. And as I've gotten older, that food has just got to be shit. Like it's just, their food is so bad, so bad. Anyway, last tweet comes from Settled Falcon. He says, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching Captain America: Civil War, and I noticed a peculiar shaped building in Wakanda. Yes, it looks like a PS5. The movie came out over 4 years ago. Do you think the PS5 team was inspired by this futuristic design?
I still think it looks like a router.
Man, I don't know where I'm going to put that son of a bitch. Like I've been moving my entertainment center around, and I have the ability. Well, I have the ability, if I take my shelves out, to stand up and vertically place both the PS5 and the Series X. But with it being such a large entertainment center, that's why I need to know how long the cable is, the HDMI cable, because on my TV, the HDMI ports are on the left-hand side, and the PS5 would be on the very right-hand side. of the
Third world
entertainment
problems,
center.
eh?
Yeah, I know, right? And I was looking, 2.1 HDMI cables are not cheap.
No, they're not.
So I was looking at like a 10-foot one, and it's like $25-$30. And I don't know that I really want to pay $25 or
Well,
$30.
wait, see which one you get in the box. I mean, it'll probably be 2 meters, maybe. I don't know what I don't know.
I hope it's long enough. If it's not, I might set it horizontally in the middle shelf.
Oh, that looks so. I mean, the thing looks ugly standing up, but it looks even uglier on its side.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, say what you want about the Series X, it's symmetrical. It's got an order to it.
It'll disappear into my entertainment center, which is what I want a console to do. Like my PS4 Pro and my Xbox One X both disappeared. Even my Switch disappears into my entertainment center. PS5 is not disappearing anywhere I put it in my office. That fucker's going to stand out like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, well.
At least mine doesn't have the disk drive. So it's at least a little bit thinner.
Yeah, that's again, it just looks odd.
That console looks like it was designed without a disc drive, and then they slapped one on.
Yeah. Oh shit, we forgot that. We better put one of these in.
We gotta attach
Yeah.
one of these sons of bitches onto the side here, like a fucking wart or something. I don't know. It's
It could have been worse. They could have sold it as an accessory.
like a USB drive, like
Like
remember the 360
HD drive for the
HD DVD
360.
drive.
Yeah.
Like
I had one of those motherfuckers.
that. I got one of those when after it obviously all gone to shit, and it like cost me about £5.
What was
New.
there, like 12 movies that came out on HD?
No, there
DVD?
was about 30 or 40. There was quite a library, but the problem is that because it was, if I remember rightly, when it first started, like you had certain studios backed each individual. So like I think Universal backed HD DVD, so you had things like
King
Firefly,
Kong.
The Thing, King Kong, and all that stuff on the HD DVD side. So there were, and they weren't on Blu-ray, so there was some cool stuff on there. But when I got one, it all the war was lost, and I picked up the machine for about £5, and I bought about 10 movies for £2 a pop. It was like crazy.
I think it's hilarious that there's probably some fucker out there who has like every movie and
Probably.
multiple HD DVD players, and I just sit around and I go like, why would you waste space and money on this?
Yeah, I mean that's why I digital now mostly, except for like the Marvel movies or the Star Wars stuff that I like to collect, so to speak, because I just run out of space. You know, it's even Blu-rays are smaller than DVDs, but there's still space it takes, and oh, that's too much effort. I'd like digital. You ain't got to do anything. It's stored in the cloud and nice and easy.
I literally stored all of my Blu-rays. I would have given them away if somebody wanted them, but I haven't been able to give anything away during the pandemic, you know?
Mm.
So they're literally in tubs in my garage. I have
Crazy.
no discs. I have literally 0 discs in my office. I have the G.I. Joe Blu-rays that they sent me this week, and then I've got the Transformers ones in my closet, but other than that, there are literally 0 discs.
Okay. What was the number that you thought HD DVD released?
30 or 40.
Oh my god, no. 232 in the UK?
Wow.
That's too
There you
many.
go. That's impressive.
Some fuckers got all of them too.
Now,
I
Over there.
you have to.
I definitely don't remember HMV being that full of them.
You also have to remember that that some of these were also Blu-ray HD DVDs, which Warner did, which is weird. Or you did Universal. One of them chose to release like packages where you'd get one disc and it was a Blu-ray and an HD DVD.
Definitely wasn't Universal. It sounds like something
Superman Returns was one of them, and I can't remember.
Warner
Warner.
Brothers.
That is a
That's
Warner
Warner.
one. Universal
Yes,
didn't have the
Superman.
rights still. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I know,
no,
but
Warner's always kept their stuff in
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
okay.
Marvel is the one who sold their soul to like 20 different movie companies.
Right.
Well, they needed the money at the time. Yeah.
They were
so
the,
it
they were
would
the
have been-
Games Workshop back then.
Pretty much. Speaking of mergers, one of the things we didn't talk about was that Microsoft bought a stake in GameStop.
Yeah,
Did
they sure
they?
did. Yep.
So basically-
and yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Ken.
I was just gonna say, like, basically, like, GameStop is now like a Microsoft retailer. Like, they'll still sell PlayStations, but I guess they get like a percentage of every Xbox game.
How much of a stake?
I mean, it's like 30%, wasn't it, Ryan? If I remember.
Oh, God, it's a
Yeah,
big
I don't remember the number.
Probably worth about $4.50.
Basically, Microsoft saved GameStop, is what they did.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then they get GameStop gets a cut on the Xbox stuff that they sell.
And that includes digital codes, by the way.
Right.
So they can still
They're gonna,
sell.
that basically that incentivizes staff to
They didn't-
edge people to Xbox stuff as opposed to PlayStation stuff.
Maybe it almost sounds like Microsoft is truly serious about next gen.
Maybe,
I did-
yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think they had any. What they did was they entered a multi-year agreement. They didn't buy stocks in it. The stocks went
I don't
up.
know business well enough to speak on that, so you might be right, and I may.
Well,
be
no,
just
I
talking out of
looked it
my-
up because I was like, I don't think they bought at any stocks, but the stocks went up as soon as Microsoft entered the deal, and they're doing the thing where you can, what is it, lease the console basically.
The all
least to
access.
buy.
All access,
program.
Yeah.
all access stuff. Yeah,
through GameStop and stuff. So there's like a weird like the sharing and profit sharing based on where, no matter where you buy the game.
I also think I
It's
read
weird.
that
It's
if,
a weird.
I think I read if you sign up for Game Pass through GameStop and you stay subscribed, like GameStop gets recurring revenue from that.
Yeah, I think I heard that too.
that is
I mean, it's
definitely
a
going to
smart-
incentivize the staff to sell it because they'll be
Yeah.
bonus on it.
It's a smart partnership between the two because GameStop is literally, whether you hate them or not, the biggest specialty store in America.
They're brick and
And-
mortar, and they're dying on their ass. So this
And now they're
was probably
they're basically like a Microsoft. What's for lack of a better word, like
franchise.
yeah,
subsidiary. Well, no, I can see. Yeah, I mean this basically means is that Microsoft and games as a whole still have a vested interest in the high street, which I guess is still important. As I don't think it will be as important at the end of next generation. I don't think we'll be having this conversation in 7 years' time. I think at that point, I think GameStop won't exist. But I think for now, the whole reason why there are disk drives in both of these machines is because they still play a part. I just think that this is the last console generation that they will play a part of.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know that. I'm not a proponent of physical media anymore. But there are too many people like Anthony, like Ryan,
Well,
who still
hold on.
play physical
always,
media.
You always go like I need physical media, and in some cases,
I'm not saying you
music.
need it, but you're a proponent of it. You like it.
I like the option more than
Yeah.
anything, especially when like I went and bought Code Vein for $9 Canadian because Walmart doesn't want it on their shelves anymore because they need the space.
Sure.
Right? It's not on sale for that price digitally.
You'll
Ever.
never get at that price ever.
Right. So when I can buy games on clearance because, there's only so much physical space in the world, I like that option. As soon as it goes away, here's my example. Currently Return of the Obra Dinn is on sale on Switch, PC, and Xbox, or at least Xbox and Switch. Maybe not PC, but it's on sale. And somebody asked why it's not on sale on PlayStation Network, and the guy who made the game and published the game says Sony didn't let me. Sony didn't let him put it on sale. That's absurd to me. So, yes, that's a game that really doesn't have a physical version. It's a run release, but it's stuff like that where I go, yeah, I like that option still. I'm not saying you should buy games physically because to keep them forever, because reality is games aren't like that anymore. So what you're buying on the disc isn't what's going to be the game you remember.
It's not even the game, which is kind of funny.
But it is that option to buy games for less. I mean, I have already said a million times, so why not one more? In Canada, like the prices on the PlayStation Network are more than the physical copies from the stores because they've done this exchange that isn't really accurate. It's like to the day that they release it type of thing. It's messed up and it doesn't change. So yeah, I like having physical stuff only for that in video games. At this point, though, for the most part, physical stuff isn't the game anymore. So who gives a shit?
All right. Before we go, I popped over to the channel because nobody else is doing it. There are a couple people. Oh yeah. Well, I guess we got to start putting that in the rotation of the show, huh?
Well, no one's. I put out saying we were about to record, and no one's.
Well, I got questions in the main channel and the questions channel. So the first question I see is, Sony are removing the wish list feature from the PlayStation Store. I'm not really sure why they would do that. I'm a little disappointed since that's the feature that I use. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, why would you take that away?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, iOS took it away too. This was a long time ago, but iOS used to have a cool wish list feature on the app, and it's gone.
That's what's funny is like the new Xbox store, like they prominently made that a big thing. They're like, now you can just add it with one click of a button, and you'll get a message when something on your wish list goes on sale.
So that's the thing right now. That
Awesome.
they don't send you messages for the wish list on PlayStation Network. And I have a feeling it's so you don't wait for sales on things.
That's just
So if you have to consistently check, right? Like you might buy it for more money than you ultimately were waiting for it to drop down to if it's not on your wish list. Yeah, I think it's a psychological thing they're getting rid of because
That's so
technical wise, I can't see the point of removing it.
Yeah, Jeremy says, just got the 8.0 update. This is the part of the console generation where the update removes features.
I love that feature on Steam. You get notifications both in the app and via email on my phone to say a wish list from a game from a wish list on sale. It's great, and it does for me that what you're saying, Anthony, is or Sony's thinking behind it. Anyways, it's just ask backwards. For a game that I want to play, I will buy it. For a game that I maybe have slight interest in, but I'm not going to really spend a lot of money, I put on my wish list, and at some point it will get to a price where I will buy it. It's encouraging me to spend money.
So did you ever work retail, John?
Yes.
Okay, so the thing is that they will place certain things in the store so you have to walk through other areas. So, like your necessities might be placed closer to the back of the store, so you have to walk through a bunch of unnecessary shit beforehand.
That's psychological.
So by removing the wish list, which is say your necessities, the stuff you want to buy, they now make you go through all of the sale items and hope you'll pick up something cheap because you see it there.
Or
which you don't have right now, because right now you can just go to your wish list every Tuesday and just scroll through. Is anything on sale? No. Okay, I'm done.
It will make me do none of that, and I won't bother looking.
I'm just saying.
The flip side. Again, I see their point. I see.
It's not necessarily their point, but that's what I'm thinking.
Their reasoning. Yeah, I can see that absolutely. For me, it makes no sense. But I'm a different consumer to somebody else, of course. So.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to remove because I don't personally use it. Like I've thrown a couple things on a wish list before, but I've never actually. But like developers love it. Like if you ever see a developer out on Twitter, they're like, "Hey, wish list this game. Hey, wish list this game." Same for Switch. Like I saw AVGN is dropping on the 30th for this for Steam and Switch, and like they were out on Twitter this weekend, like, "Hey, go out there, wish list this because it helps them." Really get the word out for that game.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, Steam has the same thing. It's like it's all based on where it ends up in the ranking. But I know that's not how PlayStation Store works because it never has worked that way. So,
also speaking of the PlayStation Store, the update that is going live at the end of October will also remove PS3 and Vita games from that store because the new PlayStation Store on the PS5 is integrated to the OS, so it now only offers PS4 and PS5 games.
Yeah, so I went and bought some PS3 and PS3 games before.
Because you never want to deal with... You'll never be able to... You'll have to go to the PS3 OS to download games now, which sucks.
Yeah, unless it's in your download list, which is pretty quick to access.
But that's going away.
No. Not in the console itself.
Oh, in the console itself, maybe.
It's never been fun. It's so if you do it from your browser right now, here's how it works. You have to go queue download, and then you have to put your PS3 in sleep mode.
Well, who doesn't leave their consoles in sleep mode?
Sorry?
Who doesn't leave their consoles in sleep mode? Does anybody actually do the full power off?
Well, I mean, it's never a full power off, but yes, I turn my console.
I only do full power off when I'm moving my console.
Quick resume still works after you unplug the Xbox Series X. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a mess, and it sometimes doesn't work properly, and yeah. So I went on and like if you go into the store on your console, there's just a download list, and then you can quickly just download the stuff from there. I mean, I say quickly relatively to actually using that store to search for anything.
I feel like I need that for my TV. I don't know if you have this problem, Wombat, but like my TV is built on Android, and Android fucking blows. I'm sorry, it just does. But like after I leave my TV on for a while, like game mode causes these little flickers, and it fixes it if I just like hard reset the TV. But the TV doesn't have an option to not just let it sleep. Like there's no way to fully power down the TV unless you do it by holding the power button down and hitting the restart.
Gosh, I don't think TVs have had an actual off switch in years.
My TCL did.
Did it? Oh, wow.
I could set it to fully power off every time I hit the power button, which is what I would want for the... Like, I've never needed it for a TV, but...
My Samsung, both of them, every now and then I have to hard reset because they'll lock up.
Yeah, I noticed, like, it's the same thing with any technology. Like, I have to fully restart, like, power cycle my Roku every now and then because, like, the audio sync will get off. Like... I know that everything needs a full power cycle every now and then. But my TV, I feel like I've got to do it every 2 to 3 days, which is really kind of annoying.
Oh, yeah.
Because the game mode, like, my Xbox and my PlayStation all run in game mode. And if I don't power cycle the TV, I get these, like, little horizontal flickers. And it's only in game mode. If I switch the TV to a different picture mode, it works fine. But... somebody who's played 2,000 hours of Overwatch, if you re-add that 100 millisecond lag, I can't play that game. Like, that game is broken to me. So, I got to have my game mode.
So, how many hours did you say you put into Overwatch?
At least 2,000.
Okay, so I need to... My father plays video games, as I said before, and the thing is that he plays like one a year. And now some of this is because he lets his console idle.
Oh, if you look at my idle time, and like Overwatch, the counter that I'm looking at is literally in-game.
Yeah.
If you look at my app time, it's like 3,500 hours.
For sure. Neo 2 came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's total hours is 3,443 hours and 35 minutes.
That's pretty impressive.
So, and like half of the time he's playing. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazier when you find out that like Dark Souls 3 was even more time than that.
If I played as much as I used, like my Overwatch habits right now are once a week. I sit down. Like, I literally sit down on, like, a Friday or Saturday night after I've got, through the work week and I'm ready to just unwind. I'll boot up and play for, like, 3 hours one night a week.
Yeah, he'll play for, like, 6+ hours.
Yeah, like, I've gotten to that point where I'm at that level because I used to be a 4 to 5 night a week player. And it's not that I don't still enjoy the game. It's just that I've kind of done... I just want to stay sharp in it because there's obviously a sequel coming out next year, and it's still a very big stress reliever for me because that game is literally at this point muscle memory. Like I can pop in a game, and no matter which character I'm playing as, I know how to play. So it's just more of a stress reliever than anything else. But game of the generation, baby. Generation's over. That was it. That was the game of the generation. It's not even close.
Mm.
You're wrong, John. Whatever you're going to say, you're wrong.
Not to roll back on the HD DVD talk, but there's a video that everybody should watch if they want to know the history of it. History of the Xbox 360 HD DVD drive and the Blu-ray War Explained from Stop Skeletons from Fighting. It's a very good video. It tells you kind of how everything turned out. No.
It's always because of porn.
It's actually not in this particular case, but...
I bet you it still was behind the adult curtain at Blockbuster.
most of it's cost based.
Oh shit!
The adult curtain.
The adult. You remember the adult curtain at the Blockbuster?
Oh, of course.
I
Yeah.
do, yeah.
You guys didn't even have that at that record store you worked at. What was it called? FYE.
FYE. Yeah.
Yeah, they were just like by the register. I remember that because I remember the creepy guys that come in and buy them.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, these aren't even good movies. Come on, man, get the good stuff.
Yeah. We had our regular customers in that arena.
Oh, the
For sure.
softcore Cinemax shit. Like, come on, man, if you're gonna go out, get the good stuff.
Yep.
Anyway,
If you're gonna go out, get the good stuff. Great.
I mean,
Thanks,
if you're gonna get into that stuff, get to
yeah, if you're gonna put your shame on the counter.
Yeah.
I mean, this was before the days of widespread broadband.
I mean, this was
So-
yeah, but it wasn't
these stores you could go to.
It wasn't before the human consciousness developed shame, though.
Oh no, this particular group of recurring customers had none of that. They had none of that.
They were like legit, like Walmart customers, man.
Yeah, we had all sorts of brands of customers. We had the ones who smelled terribly. We had a lot more of those at EB, honestly.
Dude, there were so many dudes that would come into EB and they would just reek.
Oh, there was a guy when I worked like at a big box store. There was a guy who he was a thin guy, but reeked of BO so bad, and he had hair growing out of his nose and ears. And I was just like, this can't be real. Like, I have to be getting pranked. But nope, he came in multiple times, and he always stunk, and he always had hair coming out of his nose and ears. Like
Ryan, I'm now remembering there was that one dude that came into.
We always called him Stinky Pete.
Stinky Pete. Dude, that dude
You could
stunk so bad.
You could tell that guy was in the store from the back room.
oh no!
Oh my
Oh,
dude, reeked
Yeah.
so bad.
Holy shit!
Yeah, we had
Oh.
the brand of customer that would come in stoned out of their head and buy like $300 worth of CDs and DVDs and then return them all the next day or the day after when they were not stoned.
Oh my god.
We had a couple customers who lived at a local mental health facility who came in, and the one guy wore these like Roy Orbison sunglasses, and he never said words to you. He would just like have this like almost Joker-like smile on his face and would be mumbling things, but not actually to you, with sort of the smile on his face. And his friend, who always bought one new cassette tape and returned another never opened cassette tape every single time he came in.
Oh my god!
And he came in at least twice a week. So twice a week, he would come in, return a cassette tape that he never opened, and buy a new cassette tape. And then he would never open that and would return it at some point in the future for another cassette tape that he would never open or listen to. While his friend would stand there with the Joker grin on his face.
Man, the
we
tales
had-
of retail are so good.
We had the thieves, obviously. Everybody's got the thieves. Some more professional than others. I caught a guy and a lady trying to steal like 10 DVDs in the bottom of their baby carriage with their baby in it. Yeah. There's all sorts of fun retail stories, man.
I have two that are from my time at Target. There was I hear like we'd had like a fire exit, but it also was the stairs to go upstairs for employees from the outside. So I hear like a cart being pushed in there. I'm like, oh yeah, the guy that gets our carts must be pushing them back. And then I pause like mid thought and went, why the fuck would he be pushing the carts into the stairwell? So I walk into the stairwell, and there's a guy trying to figure out how to get out without setting off the alarms. I'm like, "Can I help you?" And he turns around, and he's like, "I thought this was the exit," and I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Well, where is it then?" And I'm like, "The same place you came in, dumbass."
He was lost in Target.
Yeah, and then he wandered out. He left the cart there, and then I got reprimanded from the manager. "What if he hit you?" I'm like, "In front of the cameras in the stairwell?" If he hit me, he was gonna leave with the stuff.
Yeah, we had a guy. We had a guy when I worked at Walmart in college who put 2 computers in a cart and then ran out of the entertainment section, the electronic section, pushing this cart as fast as he could go, plowed through the emergency exit door and to a waiting car. But by the time he got to the car, there were people behind him. And so he didn't have time to get both of the, he got one of the computers, threw it quickly in an open trunk, and didn't have time to get the other one in there. And literally, it was like something out of a movie, jumped into the back window of the car, and his feet were still hanging out the back window when they took off with the trunk still open, flapping until it finally shut itself when they pulled out.
Who says crime doesn't pay?
So recently at the work I have now, somebody tried to do something very similar, and they were ripping around the building. But we have multiple doors to outside, so one of the guys just opened the door and cut them off.
Nice.
And they were like, "Ah!" And they lost nearly everything they were trying to steal because they never got the... Because the guy that was bringing the stuff outside went through the wrong door. So the car had to rip around the building. He was throwing the stuff in. They never closed the tailgate. So as they took off, everything slid out.
Nice.
Great. Good job, everybody. I also got kissed on the face by a customer once.
Oh, God.
That's always uncomfortable.
Yeah, he went in. I was he was shaking my hand, and he pulled me in and kissed me on my cheeks.
Embraced you for your excellent customer service.
Oh, yeah. That was...
All right.
Thought of me like a brother. Oh, please don't.
I've got to go. I've got to pee like a racehorse, and it's time for food. So we're going to go. Follow us on Twitter at N4G Podcast. You can follow me at ZTGD, Ryan at WombatRP. John is at John WK. Send us emails to podcasts at ztgd.com. I have no idea what's going on with Phoenix Down. I know they were supposed to do Dead Space, but then they're moving Dead Space back.
Then they did Man of Medan.
Yeah, they're doing one episode of Man of Medan. So that should hopefully be up this week.
I think.
Okay, cool. So that'll be up this week. Get on our Discord. John has created a Discord as well as a questions area. You can send questions in there. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Music, whatever they call it now. I don't know what they call it now.
YouTube Music is what they call it now.
Well, we've got YouTube as well. We're on YouTube as well. So you can listen to us, bitch. We have more places you can listen to us than we have listeners. So
all of you can listen independently on one.
Yes. We're Everett.
One of you can be our YouTube listener, and one of you can be our Spotify listener.
Oh, unique to, if you work it out right, you can be unique.
Yep, you'll have your own platform just to yourself.
Yeah, that's your version of the show. But the next time we meet, it will only be 2 weeks until next gen. It's exciting. But that's it. Unless anybody has anything else, we out of here, please.
Alrighty, and it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G Podcast.
It's me, Mario!
$0.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gathered time.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And
I always live getting angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.